see what happens here. And again, like you said, dude, when you win like that, I mean, I wonder if he popped off, you know? Like, I wonder if he was just like, go, let's go. And
I would love to hear that.
And now he's just completely raring to go here in this matchup. And again, stoicism right here displayed by both players. Not even a change of the emote. Here we go. Otani immediately goes in there, and Kawano sending a message. Dude, these two are sending messages like back and forth right now. Oh boy. All right, Kawano says, nope, you know what? I don't care how it's
Oh, he tried to go for the tick throw, but Otani actually got hit by the jump right kick at Kawano. Too much advantage on that.
Wow, interesting. Gonna spend the level 1 here to try to get some damage, but
This guy's a nut.
Kawano, I mean, I think what Kawano is trying to do right now, and this is actually a really smart tactic for me. I would, you know, before coming in, because I wanted to say Kawano's been playing very careful, very, you know, measured, and, you know, footsies, and now he starts off this first round by going absolutely crazy. Because Otani's probably coming in here thinking similar to what I was, right? Like, oh, he's going to be tough. I need to figure out how to open him up. And then Kawano is just calling out shimmies, waking up ODDP.
Yeah, he's playing pretty aggressively.
Right. Trying to throw a different look at him.
Oh, that's a look and a half. That fierce to clash, forward throw now. Look at the damage on that. Do it again.
Yeah, it was a hard knockdown last time, so no back roll. And so he was able just to go for the throw loop mid-screen. Oh, okay. Here we go. Beast mode. Whoop. Not going to be enough to kill, though. Otani.
I like that. I like that a lot. A little taste of Kawano's medicine.
Oh, man. I love it. I love it. And that might be a little bit of Otani still kind of feeling himself after that Akira match right there. Just drive rush all you want. I'm just going to DP you right out of it. And look at this. He gets the neutral war right there with the crouching strong. And yeah, smart. That's 3 versus 2 right there, and keeps Kawano in the corner. But
that's the great crouch medium punch buffer into the medium knuckle to land and secure that level 3.
And the burnout as well, because Otani had been spending all that meter. Yeah. Oh, he got him.
It wasn't anything like super significant, but I'm glad it worked out for the first time. That's all it was. He's aimed for that at least 3 times, and 3 times and got stuffed every time. But yeah, Kawano, he's going to make short work of this. Has plenty of drive gauge left, just enough to make that trip into the next game. Game 1 going towards Kawano.
Right. That just means Kawano is 2 games away right now. 2 games away.
Just caught the
God, that reaches too.
Yeah, tough startup of the stand blast as well. Otani not really able to stop any of the drive rushes now, at least, or the first one of potentially many. Excuse me.
That was perfect parry there, but didn't go for anything right away. Try to sneak in with that drive rush suppressor again.
Big stop sign for the medium kick.
Oh no, wasn't ready for that one. Just got caught by the draw drive rush.
Waiting for that. Forward throw. Punish counter, by the way. Auto damage. Sick.
True stereo. And Kawano getting another win here. Going up 1 game, 1 round.
I was just thinking to myself, if 2 sand blasts splash and no one's around to hear it, does it still make noise? It's crazy.
I mean, of course, have you seen the noise on Twitter?
Yeah.
Otani spending the level 2, getting a nice start here for this round. Decent damage here against Kawano and corner carry. Oh no, and Kawano just jumps right out when he threw out a standing heavy punch.
And that low forward is everything for Otani. You get the carry, you get the damage, opting for the advantage off the, the tackle, but no, sir, Kawano getting the back low defensively.
Ooh, nice punish cover. And trying to get out of there, but Kawano didn't touch a touch a button.
There he is. James is back. Back into the sand as well. Kawano level 3, letting it rip. Not quite a burnout situation, but Kawano plenty of driving attack.
Okay.
Tackle for the advantage again. To force that.
Oh,
Press
he got
off
the
lights.
Is he going to go for the level 1?
100%.
Yeah. Vulcan Blast.
I wouldn't trust myself to do like the fireball into the heavy uppercut in that situation because of the skills involved. So very, very smart to secure it with the level 1 Otani tying it all up. Kawano also not too bad, right? Looking at the gauge below. What? That was sick. He got to link that.
Which is what did he link that off of?
Sandblast.
Oh my God, really? I mean, I know we've seen Guile do that a million times, but
Character school.
Oh no, he's not close enough. Remember, we saw that before. Oh, and again, calling out the shimmy with the crouching medium kick. And now Kawano trying to cut into that tiny life lead now.
Not a single button yet. Kawano, he's been locked out so far.
Again, that's 0 in burnout. So both of them are always going to go for that 4-frame button. That's why they trade after that every time.
Oh, you're dead.
Oh, he's got the level 2.
I lied. I'm sorry. I looked at the wrong bar. I looked at the wrong bar. No, he's alive. It's fine. I looked at the wrong bar. My mistake. I thought he had critical art.
Oh!
Jesus.
He's still alive. Chip. He just went for the standing heavy punch.
That's fine. I think he would have died anyway. He could have done like a heavy punch into like medium. No, actually, heavy punch into level 3 raw.
Yeah. That would have been it right there. So, okay. Otani on the board here.
I thought Kawano had level 3 because of where he was standing, and I saw level 3. Then I saw like the activation of super. I'm like, oh, wait, he's on the other side.
I mean, I always have that left-right dyslexia, so I never remember whose meter is whose. So
I get at least 1 per weekend.
Even when I play online, I'll always get the meters mixed up.
I have to look every single time. If there's like a sequence where I get a combo, it's like look at the meter, look at the bar. Like it's always like there's always like the peripheral check, check drive gauge, and check the bar. I don't care about the life bar. I just want to do like that check every single time. But Kawano, man, he had the right intentions, right, with the level 2. It just wasn't enough damage.
Yeah. Exactly. Just shy, and that allowed Otani to find that victory right over there. So
I still can't believe he got the counter hit sandblast to link into the crouch.
Dude,
jab.
like I said, I mean, I understand when Guile does that because he recovers off of his sonic boom so fast, but I did not know that Luke could recover so fast, or that sandblast just causes that long enough of a hit. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
There we go. Let's go, Kawano.
That's the up button, I think. The shot face.
I love it. I don't know why that feature amuses me so much, but it's great. Oh, but Otani, you know what? Great start here. Again, winners finals was 3-2. So close between these two players. And Otani looking great here with the start. Has the corner position, checks the forward dash. And now here we go. Throw in the corner to go for another one. He does. Yeah, gets him to spend the meter.
Excellent start so far from Otani. He's going to be taking a little bit of a break. Okay, I was going to say.
Too far.
Not going to be overzealous with it, but the drive rush, not too bad of an option either way. The medium kick could be enough if it's a counter hit. Actually, maybe normal hit, perhaps. That's why Kawano is so meticulous about his spacing, going back and forth, trying to tease the idea. That's enough.
Yeah,
Otani.
and so he did the drive rush cancel in the light. And so I'm not sure if Kawano was trying to interrupt in the middle or something like that. Didn't work out and just got clipped. Otani now with the potential to take a lead in this first set.
Excellent backdash too, especially after the plus frame scenario that Kawano presented. The crouching medium punch, you'd have to guess.
See the crouching medium punch? Wow, interesting. Was he trying to catch a sandblast, perhaps? Back throw, interesting.
I'm also very surprised how little both have been punished for their own sandblast with like perfect parry drivers forward.
Right. Again, sandblast, one of its most powerful things is that it's such a subtle movement. The startup of it, there's no noise. Oh boy!
For the advantage, press the button. Otani forced to retreat.
Oh,
that
no.
is a huge input error.
That was.
You're actually dead.
Definitely supposed to be a sandblast, and Kawano is definitely looking at his joystick right now. Hitbox.
Oh, you're not dead.
Oh my God, you're still alive. What? I told you, when I'm here, I mess it up for everybody.
That was the in-game commentator. Man, but still, Otani.
2-1.
Yeah.
2-1.
Two fortunate circumstances, by the way, right?
Yeah.
He had the big input error against Kawano, or sorry, from Kawano to get the big punish, and even after that, got the burnout still, and was like, you know what? All right, I'm cool. I'm all right. I'm all right. I gotta finish it now.
Yeah, and he just threw out the standing medium kick because I think Kawano knew if he had blocked like a bufferable button, he was gonna die. So he was probably hitting buttons at that point. So good choice by Otani to use the medium kick with his range.
Give me the reset. Let me see that happen.
To make Kawano sweat a little bit here.
Yeah.
Oh, yep.
That's a valid tactic. It's a very valid excuse to throw out that drive impact and mash if they decide to go for it and mess up the timing of a flash gun.
Did he touch a button? No, this is gonna hurt.
Oh, he gets to do it again. Back roundhouse, crouching fierce. Do it one more time for the max damage. Chris Wong, is that you?
Dude, the craziest thing about that combo, the reason why it does so much damage is heavy button, heavy button, heavy button, heavy button, heavy button.
Yes.
It's just all heavy buttons. There's no scaling in that at all. Outside of the standard scaling.
It feels so good to hit.
I'm sure it does. I've only been on the receiving end of it, so I wouldn't be able to say.
Let's play loose, man. We welcome you with open arms. Oh, it caught maybe a low medium kick, I think. It would have been
no. Yeah, now Otani gifting an execution error to Kawano.
Punish counter as well. Perhaps a flash on the parry if you get to hear the audio cue.
Ooh, and he burned him out. He burned him out, too. And he's just going to go into the level 3. Yeah, why not?
Do you force the level 2 out of Otani with a drive impact here?
I don't think you need to be honest with you. Oh, not quite enough to kill just yet. Oh, yeah, you can't test Kawano's DP. His DP is so clean. We saw that against Akira earlier.
We can't blame him, right? Especially after the chip damage you would receive from an OD Sandblast. You would think maybe anticipate that, so Otani went for the jump for that exact reason.
Right. 2-2. 2-2. This is tournament game for Kawano to make it into Capcom Cup 10. Can Otani extend this into another set? It is looking great for Kawano so far. Back-to-back punish counter throws. That's 4,000. That's 40% right there.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. What a clean start. Tournament point now for Kawano off of a very big onslaught of a round from that barrage of throws, really.
Yeah, but Otani was able to clutch it out against Akira after that almost reversed. Oh, my God! That standing heavy punch just looked like it hurt so much. Yeah, not going to let him get out for free, but still does get out. That's the important thing. Oh, no, too far, but no punish. But doesn't matter, still gets the hit. And look at these meter situation right here. Both of them so low on drive gauge. Punish counter the landing, and he's going to burn him out. He's going to burn him out, and he's going to gain a bunch of meter back himself. This is such a terrible position for Otani now. Kawano on the verge. Trade again, yep, they're both going to do it.
Kawano couldn't make it happen. It was a single sequence, a single button, and that perfect parry could have been everything for Kawano because look at the amount of drive gauge he has left. A single opening against Otani will get it for him. And he gets it! Ladies and gentlemen, Kawano is your CPT Japan champion, taking it down against Otani yet again. Kawano is your champion.
Welcome to a brand new episode of the official Capcom Pro Tour pre-show, No Neutral. I am one of your hosts, Big Hollywood Rob TV, and I am joined here with the people's champ, my brother, Brian F. What's up with you, Brian?
I am, I'm excited because this is the episode that I think both of us and the people watching have been waiting for this whole time because we are sandwiched between the two most legendary CPT events of this season. CPT Japan just included over 900 entrants in the most stacked region on the planet. There is no argument there. These are the most, the top level talent and just an endless number of them. But also coming up, we have CPT US East, which features multiple Capcom Cup champions, some of the most electrifying storylines, and the most, the biggest personalities in the scene as well. So this is a super exciting time to be a Street Fighter fan, and we're coming up at the end of the season. People are fighting for those last few remaining spots, and one of those spots went to a former champion at CPT Japan. But before we get into even naming who that is, I mean, just going back through the pools and looking at all the action before even the mainstream began, there was so many highlights high-level matches, off-stream, on-stream, 900-plus players. There's body bags left and right. I mean, where do we even begin? Do we start with maybe Daigo the Beast?
We got to start with, listen, bro. I'm not going to lie. Was it Hibiki?
Hibiki the Beast. This is interesting because Hibiki the Beast, you know, he kind of stole Daigo's whole shtick there a little bit.
Bro, how you gonna take the Beast and then you put Daigo in the losers round 1? As soon as that happened, I went to Capcom Pro Tour, the website. I looked at the rules to try to see if there was any way that we could get him banned from the Pro Tour.
Yeah, stealing Daigo's swagger is officially banned from the CPT. Everybody knows this. But for people who don't know, Hibiki the Beast is, I think objectively at this point, the #1 Lily player on the planet. He frequently jumps to the top of the MR online leaderboard with Lily just for fun, and also wins a lot of online regional tournaments in the Japanese and Asian region. He has tournament wins over players like Gachikun and NL, you know, Capcom Cup qualified players. So he is of that caliber, doing it with Lily, a character you don't see represented at that level. And then Daigo had to run into that first round. That's a tough draw, man. Even if you're a favorite, that's a tough draw.
You fight back, and he did. He fought all the way back, made it in the top 16.
11
and then he ended up running up
rounds.
And he goes up against Mizuha, which is losers top 16. Daigo versus Mizuha. Mizuha ends up winning that 2-1. Bro, the amount of players, looking at the top 16, look at this bracket. Narikun and Kazunoko on winner's side. Itabashi didn't even make top 8, dude. Itabashi loses to Otani, then to Jachi on the loser side, getting smoked by the Kimberly. Even tried two different, tried to Marissa, tried to Zangief, and to no avail. But he doesn't make it. Daigo doesn't make top 16. Yamaguchi, Narikun, even Margo ends up losing to Jachi as well on loser side. This bracket is ridiculous.
If you go back also in that bracket, dude, oh my god, don't even bring up Kakudu. I was monstering Kakudu's run, he was broadcasting his own matches, so of course I'm fanboying watching him. In winner's side, he's getting smoked by Mizuha, rocking Kami, which occasionally, you know, Kami has historically been a bad matchup for Kakudu. He got smoked by Kazunoko also in the World Warrior Regional Finals, round 1, like a 3-0. So it's never been a good look for Kakudu so far against super high-level Kamis. And then he goes up against Mizuha. He's about to make the comeback in the last game, and I'm telling you, I'm watching the stream, and I'm popping off, and I'm saying this is why he's the GOAT and all that, and he gets him down to the final pixel. The combo doesn't kill, and then he walks up to Mizuha. Mizuha wakes up low forward in his grill and wins.
Yes,
and then the next set is Kakudu is trying to crack top 16. He goes up against Jachi. Jachi, who you just mentioned, plays both Kimberly and JP. It literally comes down to the final interaction, the final hit. Kakudu sets up the OD portals on top of Kimberly on her wake up, and it's supposed to be a meaty spike checkmate. And for some reason, Kakudu kind of mistimed the setup, misspaced it. Jachi wakes up level 2 and teleports through the spikes and kills Kakudu when he had a checkmate situation that he kind of just fumbled a little bit. And it's like, man, this guy has had a
Your clip of that was
season.
mad funny on Twitter, bro.
Dude, I was popping off so hard
because he had
him.
just blocked so much stuff, and you was like, "That's why he's the GOAT." you commentator curse.
But too many body bags in the top 32, in pools, in top 16. All your favorite top Japanese players are in this, but of course it all comes down to the top 8. And I think the cast of characters was a little bit unexpected to a degree. Kazunoko might have been kind of low-key for the people who weren't paying attention to Street Fighter League, but Kazunoko's been doing extremely well in Street Fighter League in Japan. He's in winner sides of the top 8. Otani, he's been consistent as well in this bracket. Akira, who has been for years the most offensive Kami in Japan, but now he's like bringing that to Street Fighter 6. And then Kawano's the big one. Kawano in top 8 winners. The best Street Fighter V player for a period of time during, you know, the pandemic era where he was kind of contained within Japan, so the world didn't get to see him shine until EVO 2022 when he won that. And then he won Street Fighter League Japan as well, and the Street Fighter League World Championship with his teams, but kind of ended Capcom Cup on kind of a sour note. He only got 9th place, losing to Vega Patch. Vega Patch upset him, right? And since then, his Street Fighter 6 results have not been to that caliber at all.
Kawano only got 10 points throughout the entirety of the World Warrior program. I said there's no way. He must not have competed. But he competed in these events, and Kawano didn't even make like over top 160 in most of these events, bro. Only one time he got like 13th place. That was his best result. So he got 10 points. And then now he goes and wins CPT Japan. There is a big luck factor involved. And that can sound crazy at first. You cannot control, in my opinion, when you peak. And right now, Kawano, he got it at that right time. And that's one of the things that's super tough when it comes to having these big one-off events, you got to come that day and be that guy.
Right. And the thing about Kawano is his previous peak, that was over like almost a 2-year period. So he started to peak in Japan in late 2020, right? He'd been competing in 2018 and prior, and he was a good player, but he wasn't among the best in the world yet. He was training with them, but he hadn't quite cracked that level. And then late 2020 and beyond, he was winning almost every event in Japan, qualifying for the CPT online, and finally Evo presented that opportunity where we could play offline again, and he was maintaining that dominant position for almost 2 years straight. So it's shown that he's been able to achieve peak form and maintain it for quite some time. So Capcom Cup is coming up fast. Like, this might be the perfect time for him to achieve that and make it not just a one-off thing. He's shown the ability to maintain a level of play and to compete at the highest level over an extended period of time. So I feel like Kawano was the player that had fallen off pretty much everybody's radar, and now Kawano is definitely one of the strongest players going to the Capcom Cup, and I think a lot of players are going to be scared of Kawano coming up in this bracket. So keep a lookout. The Prince has returned.
All right, bruh. And now you know what we are here for today. Shout out to Kawano, shout out to Japan. But now we are in the US of A for US East. Brian, we've been looking forward to this event for so long, bro. So we got a lot to talk about. We're going to call this segment the King of the East. Because we want to see who we think is going to take this, lay out some storylines. I'm going to go ahead and put it all on the line first and foremost. Dang. We know already MaxSama qualified, and he has said that he has chosen to not play. He don't want to eliminate any of his homies. He's not going to gatekeep. We know the big three that we looking at here, bro. NuckleDu Dang, Punk the God, and I hope y'all ain't forgot about a Capcom Cup champion in Idom. So as far as if we got to pick our favorites to win this, I think that I got to go between, respectfully to Idom, we got to go between Punk or Du right now based on form, even though I don't sleep on Idom.
It's tough, man. It's tough.
I'm going to say I think Punk the God does it. You know what? Because last time I came on this camera and talked about, me and Brian said, you know what? Sometimes Punk has issues in the clutch. He's probably the best player, but in the clutch sometimes he gets a little nervous. He went on there, he beat our ass, so he wasn't even in the tournament. He wins the tournament, he gets up with his family. I'm the definition of clutch. You remember that, Brian?
I absolutely remember that, but hey, man, you might be jinxing him now. I think, Punk is a little bit like yourself in this regard. I feel like just a hint, a seed of doubt, kind of it's the spark that ignites the flame within him.
You're right.
So I don't know. Maybe you saying he's the favorite is going to make him lackadaisical about it.
I got him.
Some people need a little bit of a hater to rally against.
Yes.
Real or otherwise, sometimes just even imagining some sort of perceived adversary is what gives you that chip on your shoulder that motivates you and gets you in that mental space to go over the top. Punk is absolutely a favorite, but I gotta say, NuckleDu Dang, man, he is the guy who's also taking sets off Punk regularly. And we look at the World Warrior Finals. I like the way you introed the players. MaxSama beats NuckleDu Dang in the World Warrior Regional Finals to qualify for Capcom Cup. Last game, last round, last interaction, both of them about to go into burnout. One clutch jump in is what secured the position for MaxSama to pop that level 2, chip out NuckleDu, and checkmate him essentially, right? But that was one decision that allowed MaxSama to win over NuckleDu. And then NuckleDu gets second place, doesn't qualify. Punk's there in third, Idom's there in fourth. It's like, that is kind of the perceived order of things. But Punk, NuckleDu, they're favored for sure with momentum. Idom, you can't forget about him, of course, like you mentioned. He's there. He's taking sets over these players. But I feel like matchup-wise also, it's going to be tough for him with the characters that Punk and NuckleDu represent.
Who you picking, Brian?
Oh, I'm picking. If you're picking Punk, I'm picking Du. I mean, this is a given. But listen, there's one small little banana in the bracket you might have forgotten about. I gotta give a shout out to my goat Bananakin, another one of those players who just for fun hits #1 on the online leaderboard. He is representing JP in the East. He is the guy I try to steal all my tech from, and he has set wins over all these players. Now, is he favored against them? I wouldn't say so. I think they have the winning record. MaxSama, NuckleDu, Punk, and Idom. They have the winning
win this tournament,
record,
bro.
But he has made upsets over all of them, I believe, multiple times. I mean, I can check the stats on that one. So on a good day, it could be him as well. I'm going to be stealing the tech he represents either way. But even then, there's other contenders in this bracket that we haven't mentioned at all, because this bracket has 642 entrants in it. That surprised me.
642 in the States?
642 in U.S., North America, East. So a lot of the players in this bracket are people you might have seen early on competing. I want to give a shout out to players like Smage, traditionally from different franchise of fighting games. He was doing really well. He was doing super good at CEO in the beginning of the season for Street Fighter 6. Super strong jury play, very solid fundamentals, right? Diphone is back in the mix. So there's a lot of players who have been really strong in the beginning and maybe weren't focused as heavily in the interim and are now back to, maybe cause some upsets, maybe go super far. So I feel like while we have the favorites, you cannot count out anyone in this bracket. Like, I would not be surprised if big upsets occurred.
Space Boy, Zaffarino, Bananakin, like there's so many killers in this bracket. It's extremely tough to call, bruh. 3 Capcom Cup champions, 3, and only 2 are able to qualify. One of them is gonna have to take that trip to the West Coast for LCQ. That long, hard road. But we did see somebody do it before, almost. Of course, my man Jin was able to make that run. So, of course, one of these guys can do it, but you'd rather not be in that spot. Mena RD already got in there, but we still got 2 Cup champions left. Idom, and then, of course, NuckleDu. Dang. Bruh, this one is about to be insane. This is, I would say, the 2nd strongest region in the world right now. Of course, it depends on how you look at DR, but I'm counting Mena RD as East Coast.
Right, he's in the bracket. We have to count him for this one. He's in the CPT East Coast region. So for this one, it makes the bracket that much harder. Region,
just to clarify for Dominican Republic, players watching, we do not look. We know Mena RD is DR. Y'all seen is probably maybe the strongest or up there, right? But yeah, as far as right now, as far as regions, as far as CPT regions, it's Japan, East Coast, bruh. So it's extremely tough to call. Right now, we are so close to Capcom Cup. We are about to see some of the greatest players in the world, absolute legends, about to cook up and try to punch their ticket in the Capcom Cup. Who is it gonna be? Who is gonna write their names in the annals of history? We're about to find out. We have top 16 for NA East.
Objection! He was obsessed, you see, with finding an appropriate vessel for this power.
Fight with all your heart!
We are supporting Capcom Cup 10 with a total prize pool of over $2 million.
It's showtime, baby!
Kawano takes it over Idom!
Alright, you ready?
You don't want to miss it! Let him cook!
Look at the damage! Look at that damage!
Now's not the time for jokes.
Your two-time Capcom Cup champion! It's Mena RD!
You guys are in for a wild ride. I really do mean that. I hope you guys are awake. I hope you guys are ready. It's CPT time. That's right, the Capcom Pro Tour. We have our online qualifier for the US and Canada East. With me is Ultra David. My name is Vicious, and we've got a lot to talk to you about because we had over 600 players in this bracket.
Yeah, and as you know, this region is one of the most stacked in the world. Extremely strong players. We're talking about the whole eastern seaboard of the North American continent. That's a lot of regions with a lot of strong players with a lot of history who have done well in tournaments over many, many years across many different games. And we have ended up with top 16, with 16 of them, trying to see who from this region will make it into Capcom Cup.
Only one.
Only one
right?
of those.
Only one of them gets that shot with so many prolific names from a variety of different games that we were talking about earlier. It's going to be one for the books, and that is for sure. You guys want to get ready for this one because in the top 16, if you guys were only watching what was going down in multitudes of streams, everybody was streaming their runs. And also, if you were following along on StartGG, seeing the pathing of some of these players, it was kind of destructive. I'm not going to lie to you. When I saw the top 32 page, I'm like, oh my God.
I was here for when he saw the top 32 page. And
who's in loser side? Which we're going to get to in just a little bit. Before we get into that, obviously, we talk about the region as a whole. I think the East Coast right now in the current state of affairs for Street Fighter 6 has been the more dominant region throughout the U.S.
I think that's fair to say. Yeah, I mean, when you think of the top, probably 3 to 4 players, certainly in the short list in the top 5, they are 3 to 4 of them. It's in this region. And of course, from the World Warrior side, already Mena has made it through. So we're talking about players who are in their last chance at this point, other than the actual last chance qualifier, which is going to be right before Capcom Cup in a little less than a month at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is really the one big chance remaining. At that point, as tough as this tournament's going to be, that is going to be even harder. So this is when you want to make it happen. Yeah, I mean, on our little sheet, on our little run of show, it says preview and talk about region as a whole. But you guys know the region. Like, we know the region that we're talking about. We are talking about, again, some of the players who have had the most success at EVOs, at Capcom Cups. We're talking about multiple Capcom Cup champions just in this bracket. We're talking about players who have made EVO Grand Finals multiple times. We're talking about players who have made top 16 at EVO up to 3 times, 4 times, some of these players. People who have won majors, not just in Street Fighter, but in other games too. I mean, again, it's hard to beat this region when it comes to worldwide talent.
No doubt. Let's take a look at those players right now and get really familiar with our top 16. From the winner's side, NuckleDu versus Ramos. Now, NuckleDu, we know him. We love him.
Guy I know.
Capcom Cup champ. Long-time competitor, doing it for the old heads, apparently. Ramos, however, I'm not going to lie to you. I have not seen this name on streams. I haven't really seen what his history is like on StartGG, but one thing is for sure, he's made it here for a very, very good reason.
Yeah, totally. All the players who have qualified have done so for a reason, no doubt. Then Space Boy and Bananakin, a couple of players who we've seen many, many times. Psycho and Naji, again, players who we're very familiar with. But
this is also really sick, by the way,
how about
towards the
that?
end of it. Alex Smith versus Paladin.
Yes.
Dude, the age difference between these two, when we get to it, man, it's going to blow your mind. But that is our winner's side for the top 16. Let's flip it over to the loser side, shall we? Then, of course, we have Adrian NY, who's been on a ton of streams, grinding it out since the game released, along with FluxWaveZ of a similar caliber, right? Both of these players, very, very talented, going up against each other. In round 1 of losers is kind of nuts. Then followed by Kami versus Smage. That is actually going to be a banger. But look what we have on the bottom 4.
What are we looking at down here? Hold on. Are we right? The top of the screen here, it says top 16 losers. Is that what we're looking at? Yes. Punk versus MaxSama. And then NY Mando versus Idom. Yes. Punk and Idom have both lost before the top 16 began. And as a result, their paths are going to, of necessity, run into each other. We know. I can tell you, I don't know who's going to win tomorrow and qualify for Capcom Cup. I'm going to tell you right now, it will at least only be one of Punk or Idom. I guess we knew that already, but only one of them's even going to make it into, the losers round 2 of tomorrow. So,
so crazy.
We are going to see some great fireworks down there. Of course, MaxSama and NY Mondo are going to try to put an end to that right away. So that is how it looks. We're talking about a bunch of different characters, of course. We're talking about, just to think about it, Guile, Chun, Luke, JP, Kimberly, Jury, Ryu. We have Marissa down there. We have Zangief. We have Manon down there as well. So as commonly happens, sure, you got your classic top tiers, but as always also happens, especially when it comes to top 16s for CPT, you always get the characters in there a little zany, a little bit less represented. Class to see that as well.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty surprising. Also seeing a little bit of Ryu sprinkled in there from Paladin. He's been putting a lot of content, but we'll get into that in a little bit. There's a lot on the line every single time we run through these Capcom Pro Tour online qualifiers. There's $5,000 to be exact. It's a good amount of money to plan it out, but this is what they're all gearing towards, right? The $2 million prize pool over at Capcom Cup 10 for this season, with first place taking the lion's share. Multiple lives changing money. $1 million to first place. But again, we talked about that pricing every single time. $5K is on the line. It's enough, I feel like, to maybe, plan a little trip to the last chance qualifier, perhaps.
Sure.
A little fraction of that, maybe, if you're in 4th or 3rd place,
$1,200?
right?
Yeah, why not? $800?
I don't know what the flight prices are right now.
I mean, fair enough.
Hey, $2,500 is a pretty big deal, along with $1,200 for second place, $800 for third, and $500 in the pockets of fourth. Not bad for playing at the comfort of your own home or wherever you may be playing from, but it's also free.
Pretty cool, yeah. Looking forward to seeing who gets that first place. Of course, if you do, you don't need to go to the LCQ. You can just show up later at Capcom Cup. You're in the group stage, buddy. You're already moved on. And one person is going to get that. Yeah, one person's going to have a great weekend. Everybody else is going to have, hopefully, a good time. Maybe not quite what they were hoping for.
I swear, man, it's going to be like one blink and we're already teleported to the LCQ, and it's going to be insane. It's actually going to be insane. We still have another CPT after this as well.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, there's still one remaining.
Oh, my God, it's the Midwest. Ooh, the main event. I love how it's coming back to the Midwest now. I love that. But talking about our top 16, starting things off, NuckleDu versus Ramos. We talked about some of the representation. Chun-Li, I feel like, has been coming up real fast, and I feel like she's on an upswing, I would say, towards like the current meta of Street Fighter. But what's really interesting is that the big M next to her name, Modern Chun-Li, you don't have to worry about those Tencho kicks not coming out in time to stop an stop an airborne approach. But NuckleDu, tried and true classic with the Guile. Something to be expected.
Enters every online tournament. You guys know Capcom Cup champion in the previous game. He got second place in the World Warrior for this region. He was first in points before that. And his fact about himself is... all right, I'll read this. Somehow I'll make it through. Okay. He says, I am a veteran, retro fighting game player, fighting for the old heads. Ancient NuckleDu at the age of 27. He's been playing, here's a true story. First time I met NuckleDu was, as far as I know, the first time that he ever traveled anywhere. It was at Civil War in Virginia in maybe like 2012. And he flew there and didn't have a hotel room. And I let him stay in my hotel room.
No way.
That was the first time that I met him, yeah. I think he did well at that tournament, too. So he's been great for a very long time. As far as Ramos goes, he got 30th in World Warrior points, but he hasn't entered that many events on Start GG anyway that I could research for. He did get 4th at a can opener. Like, he's definitely had some success out there. But he also says, I was in the first Capcom Cup for Street Fighter Cross Tekken.
That's insane.
Which is sick. That's a cool callback.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, if you see the list of players that he's taken down with him alongside his ancient history, because, man, I do not remember any of that cross-second towards that Capcom Cup. I think it was the first time they've ever showcased it, and that was the last time.
Yeah, I
don't recall. But either way, Ramos, he took down Simple Tricks 2-1. He took down Zaffarino 2-0. And then Fatality Falcon 2-0 as well. That is a pretty hefty amount of names.
Totally.
If you actually look them up on Twitter, man. These guys are ridiculous at what they do. But yeah, it's a pretty big contrast to what NuckleDu had to go through. I think he had taken down Adrian NY on the way over, but being, I feel like, maybe the top 3 seeded players.
He was probably number 1 seed, at this point. I mean, he was first in points in the World Warrior, and then he got second in the World Warrior to the guy who didn't enter because there's no need to enter here. So he's probably number 1 in point in seeding. So as a result, right, your path tends to be easier. That's like the idea.
Quote unquote, yeah.
But still, again, he had to beat strong players to get here. It's never an easy mode, especially with how many players we had. 640 plus entered this thing.
It's a lot. And even some of the names that you don't really get to see on like streams, you don't regularly get to see on like StarGG as often, they'll take you down. They'll actually eliminate you from the bracket. We've seen that as a very evident case in Japan CPT with over like 900 players plus. There were so many names in there where James and I were thinking to ourselves, like, who is 1100G? How did they beat Tachikawa twice in bracket? Like, how did they get the same person twice and beat him twice? Like, that's crazy.
I mean, that's a good question. But yeah,
this is going to be as much of a toss-up as what we're getting at, right? With over 600 people, it's still like, we'll see familiar names, but already, to our surprise, we've seen some really heavy hitters in the loser side. But going into it, right, NuckleDu versus Ramos. I think NuckleDu, enough can be talked about him. I mean, he's one of the top players in the world, right? Also just coming back from Japan, if I'm not mistaken, being part of Team Dominican Republic, taking down that 3v3. But Ramos, man, I'm very excited to see how he's going to perform today.
Yeah, that modern Chun, again, we're in a 2 out of 3 format here trying to make it into the top 8 in the first place, so you just got to win 2. We have seen modern Chun do well. We saw Otani do well back at EVO. It seems to me, just as an observer of the Japanese scene, that there are fewer players playing modern than it seemed like there was for a while. It seemed like there's maybe kind of a growth of that, and that hasn't lasted. But as somebody who plays modern myself, I still think that it's legit. So we'll see how he makes it work. Great start for him.
Kind of against the Sonic Boom. That's something you can expect with Chun-Li. I think she does a very good job against anybody who has a projectile and also kind of wants to play that space in the game. I think her normal and her walk speed is what helps her excel in these types of matches. But it's not to say like she has a significant advantage over said characters.
No, yeah. But I highly agree that she is one of the best in the game. She's really good. Ooh, really wanted to confirm on that.
Yeah, it's tough too when you end it with like a forward or back B.
Yeah. I mean, look, I understand him getting hit there because blocking was almost as deadly as getting hit in that situation because you know that you're about to get crushed.
God, I love those dudes. Has to stay there and hold it.
Dude, just kind of doing whatever he wants to in this situation. Here it is. Into the corner.
That was a counter hit.
Oh, actually one hit away on both sides. Level 2 is here for Ramos. And if he gets through the fireball with that...
Oh, this is huge.
Oh, man, I'm worried. We're talking about modern Chun, but it doesn't matter. Of course, Chun's level 2, one of the best of blowing through stuff.
I was trying to take a look at the drive gauge to see what the precision was going to be from Ramos. He ends up just doing for the solid punch activation. NuckleDu, I feel like getting the better hand of luck towards the end of the round. But now, 2 back-to-back openers. You know, Ramos must have pressed the button in between because that wasn't a true combo.
Saving his drive gauge. Ramos just kind of hanging out, a little bit patient here. That's what we do.
Oh, the roundhouse.
He's woken up so far with that and also with crouching medium kick, so he's active there. Burns Ramos out.
Nobody expects the roundhouse on him.
No.
But I do like this throw from Ramos, picking and choosing his spots on defense.
And if he can make NuckleDu just block a few things before Super comes, at this point. Again, he is 1 hit away. Again, it's doable.
But that's a counter hit. You don't even have to spend all of it. Yeah, you get to hold on to your CA. This is actually a huge upswing for Ramos, being at 3 bars and compared to NuckleDu. One bad Sonic Boom could lead to so much damage. But Ramos being put on the defense and hit.
Hey, that's all level 3 right there.
So good.
Interesting.
We'll take that. The damage on the drive gauge, the damage to the bar. You could cause that burnout.
He would love to.
But Du's defense is still too good.
Du's away. Probably safe against getting burned at this point. Hold on. Ramos has let him wake up.
Oh, he catches the back dash, but it's not plus enough.
Oh, big opportunity. He needs a little more. No,
the last hit.
It's actually the last
That's
hit.
Crazy.
I thought we'd be on pixels, man. Yeah.
The potential kicked the bad damage.
I feel like it really did. Yeah,
what?
yeah.
And it's only the first game. That's
and if
Ramos?
you think about it, in round 1, he also was 1 hit away, 1 mix-up away in that left corner from taking round 1 as well. So, shout out to Ramos playing that very well.
That medium punch is a problem. That handshake, NuckleDu's run into it how many times over and led to a death? That's kind of nuts, man. This character's mad good.
I notice we're not going right back into the game. Are we seeing a character change? Of course, Du has other ones up his sleeve. We've seen Cammy, but less commonly than we had in the past. It's going to be Guile again. Okay. When SF6 was newer, he was playing her more, but when I've seen him play online, just constantly playing in online tournaments, it's almost always got it.
Again, how many times has Ramos read the view around that Sonic Boom? It's not an easy feat to react to it. Again, Modern might be the reason exactly why, but
yeah, I mean,
as consistent as it is, it's still, you have to time it correctly.
You just got to think of Modern as being a different groove, a different ism. It's just got slightly different takes. One of them is on reactions.
A slower pace, and I like this from NuckleDu. With this type of approach, you've had Ramos kind of like trying to really think about the Sonic Boom just like that as well. From certain spaces, not going to be able to catch in time.
And interesting that he is up the game because I feel like his pressure has been quite...
Do it again. That would have been very interesting if he actually went for a third round.
All right, well, let's see what Du has here. And even it up in games. Perfect yet again. Trying to fake a little bit. He's hoping to goad Ramos into something ill-advised.
Ooh, and what a punish counter as well. The full swing, crouch jab into the fierce. I love those types of combos.
Bunch of perfects. Oh, here it is. The medium yet again, as you said. It is strong. Man, I feel like that was one of the first times he actually did a medium.
I felt like it was slightly delayed. Maybe he was trying
Maybe it was delayed even. Yeah. Okay, Du gets the burn. Ramos is on the other side. He still has level 2 and 3. He can still be dangerous. Here it is!
There it is. Yeah, you just called it. Now, is that Modern damage, though?
That is the question. I think that's real. He really did the motion, I think. Block is... Oh my god!
That's huge!
Another
Again!
chance. We're at match point. Imagine if top 8 winners does not include Punk or Idom or NuckleDu, we're 1 round away.
This is crazy. Another handshake of destiny. Ramos getting the corner, parry, forward throw as well. Can be getting the string going, but crouching heavy punch to keep up, to be honest. Speaking of, yeah, there's the drive reversal. Had to get off of him. He has not been able to breathe in this corner just yet. Hopefully he lets the boom do the talking. Again, the punish counter off of the crouching jab into the fierce. Smooth like butter.
Options there. Ramos's drive gauge. Okay, it is gone. He's going to have level 2 and still be dangerous. Du cannot comfortably throw a boom if there's charge, and there is charge now.
Even so, I mean, with Modern, you're still able to...
Yeah, there's a button,
you still have to charge, excuse me.
But it is just a button on reaction.
No way. There you go, NuckleDu. The appropriate conversion as well. I was thinking to myself, like, there's no way Ramos is going to here, right?
Okay, there it is. But man, it is close. It is close.
Level 2 could have been everything. It could have been absolutely everything for Ramos to take down NuckleDu. And that was a very, very intense moment to see NuckleDu sweating like that. I don't think I've ever really seen him stuck in that corner for as long as he did against any Chun player, really. Because like most of the time, NuckleDu, he has like that mentality. He's like, if I don't really recognize the name, I'm going to play as aggressive as I can. But I feel like he had a run for his money on defense the way that he really wanted to play as well.
I was thinking about Honda level 2 character that I play in Modern, which is charged, but Chun's is not actually. So
it's quarter circle forward. Yeah. That's why I was like, wait.
Yeah, I know. It's just
I was actually
like a little jealous.
I believed you a little bit.
Yeah,
like, wait. Now I got to think about it. Don't play games with my mind, man. I'm still trying to wake up from Japan, from
oh yeah,
Japan,
yeah.
man.
Something happened earlier.
PDD, huh? Chun-Li versus Guile yet again.
New challenger.
Again? Brother, that was just the counter hit. NuckleDu just got hit once. Maybe try to press a button to contest it.
Right.
I mean, obviously he did. It was a counter.
Right.
Excuse me. Oof. Slugging, how many heavies? 10 health.
A little more active. Ramos again, close to being burned.
A little bit problematic too. Doesn't want to take the beams, doesn't even want to try to perfect parry. He's been taken to the skies a lot against these booms, but from this distance, it gives NuckleDu a lot of time to both recover and react appropriately with the anti-air.
Ooh, he's putting up such a wall. Ready there. Ramos, still alive. If you can get 2 mix-ups here, he can take it.
Ooh.
1. Oh, wake up button! It is enough for Du, who's at match point.
And it's so awkward, too. Off of that back throw, you're not necessarily going to guarantee yourself an easier medium than another jab, right? You'd have to commit to, like, maybe like a back throw punch or something. Or even like a low forward in that range. Back throw there.
Yeah,
sorry, I was thinking about it. Not going to set up for the blade just yet, and it's a lot of the boom falcon, right? He's trying to force that error from Ramos. Again, from certain distances, you're not going to have a good time with these Hazan shoes.
Dangerous now for Ramos to get hit. If it's the right one, Duke can already kill, but even if it's not, it's going to be a tough look.
No way!
Nice pick up.
What a conversion! Thrown. I think that's the last thing up with these Warriors. The roundhouse activation is a solid puncher. He can accomplish his goal of burnout. He does so, but Ramos isn't going to take too much damage off of it unless the mix comes. Maybe like a drive rush overhead. No anti-air.
Do
frozen in place.
Yes, do understands that completely, that Ramos was frozen. You could see that. He took advantage of it. Now he's on the other side of the screen. Safe. Other side of the beach.
Ramos now looking at full drive gauge. He can still take this away from NuckleDu.
I mean, again, he still has level 2 and 3. He's got C8 even. And it's not going to happen. Dude comes back from the brink of going to losers, and he will be in top 8 winners side tomorrow.
Nice work. Nice work, young man, doing it for the OGs. What a statement. What an actual statement. Big ups to Ramos, man. I think there's like a small intricacies where he was kind of outplayed, and it was revolving around the Sonic Booms mostly, right? Not really fully understanding the space of when he can actually Hazanchu led to a lot, but also not willing to kind of like throw out some of the parries as well. I know it's very difficult. You don't want to lose that gauge because we've seen what happened with NuckleDu and like the amount of meter he has, right? I think his defensive choices to move on in weren't necessarily the best. It led to a lot of extra damage as anti-airs, but like walking and blocking, it's like you're still going to take chip damage, right? Or you're going to take
drive
gauge damage.
Yeah, for sure. But Du's booms are just unique. Like if people haven't trained against Du, I feel like it's just really, really tough to contend with his timings and which strengths he picks, and when he backs off and when it's normals time. It's just really, really hard to get a read on that stuff. Yeah. So I thought Ramos played neutral well. I wanted to see more of this. I know that he has the reactions because there it was, and we saw the EX Zanshu, for example. There were more opportunities for that stuff. I think even more than that, though, he won mostly in neutral, even though you're right, there were some tough times. His pressure was light. Du was able to wake up with buttons quite a number of times.
Truly, yeah.
And that was really a big swing I felt in the match. Du like almost immediately read, oh, you're gonna let me wake up with crouching medium kick? Okay, cool. Here's roundhouse, here's jab in the boom. Like here's a bunch of stuff that he did backdash. And Du, through that kind of defensive read, as well as other great play, makes it into top 8 winner stuff.
We didn't see a single OD flash kick come in from NuckleDu, right? Now that I think about it,
I don't think so, because he was doing other stuff.
Yeah, and that's the big fear, right? You get a knockdown at any charge character like that, it's like, man, do I really have to play this respectfully? Do I have to like really think about the OD flash kick?
I gotta think about what you're doing.
Yeah, like
What's this? What kind of game are we playing?
Not every you know what? Not every character has that type of luxury to be able to wake up with a reversal outside of having meter. So it's like, man, I have to really think about my meaty decision here. But like again, overall, I think NuckleDu already like instilling this fear without having to is a pretty big deal, right? It's like I didn't flash kick him once, and he's letting me press buttons on wake up. It's a pretty huge deal.
That was a big swing. I totally agree with you. So that's the first match. We're gonna have Space Boy versus Bananakin coming up next.
This is gonna be sick. Actually, I'm really excited. I'm a fan of both of these players. It's great to see Space Boy and his current upswing in the game. Not Pace Boy. His hand is blocking the S, but it is indeed Space Boy coming in from New Jersey. Bananakin, not an actual banana, and not even playing Ken.
He got that name from forever ago. So this is somebody who has had again 3 top 16s at EVO in 3 different games. One of them was in Street Fighter IV when it was with banana-colored Ken.
Yeah, and he was the one who won the cowboy hat.
Yeah,
that
Ancient
was
lore.
the extra prize over at EVO back in the day. He won the cowboy Ken hat in that top 16 and wore it for the rest of the week.
It was like highest ranking or highest placing Ken, if I recall correctly. Yeah, that was cool. Anyway, been a top player for a long, long time. He started with Third Strike, he says. That was his first competitive fighting game. He and the PR crew, very strong players that they have down there, of course, but he's been living in the continental U.S. for a long time and still been having a lot of success. As far as Space Boy goes, 5th place in World Warrior, 5th in points as well. Guess what? Bananakin, 5th place in World Warrior as well, 4th in points. So a couple of guys who had similar situations. But man, Bananakin, if you guys take a look at CFN, highest MR in the world, that dude is always near the top of the list.
Really?
He is always grinding up there. Yep.
I'm not surprised, man. This guy is not letting off the gas with his also performance in Street Fighter League US. I know that was like a while ago, But just overall, man, his JP has not stopped. And you can see it also in his performance in his start GG path, right? He's taking down Smage 2-1. He's taking down OG Killicam. Yo, big shout out to Killicam, by the way. I respect the game. Squat Vermilion 2-0 as well. That was a pretty tough route to go.
Yeah, we
through.
felt like it's probably like the toughest like seeded player winner's side run that we saw today. So shout outs to him, and we do have words from him before this begins.
Space Boy is a tough opponent, that is for sure. It'll be a good match. Man, is this CPT Japan? Bananakin, come on now. Listen, I know you got a lot to say, but also very respectable and humble player as well. Really, really nice guy in person. But I get it, and it's true. Space Boy has been on the up and up since, I think, like the later seasons of 5, and has really, I feel like, found a big understanding for how Street Fighter games work now. I think he's done a great job of like adapting from 5 into 6.
Yep, strong Shoto type play. And if you're going to be playing a strong Shoto in this game, do you have an opinion on who you might want to pick up?
Ken. But it's Luke. It's actually Luke.
It is Luke. It is Luke, yeah.
Man, somebody in the ministry was going to give me a DM about this. I should have kept my mouth shut. You set me up.
I did.
Either way, both these characters very much so in the conversation of the top 3 spots. But as it stands right now, Bananakin does have the upper hand, at least with the corner positioning. Despite here, Space Boy so reluctant to move on forward.
It's like surgical spot for the farthest region of the jump cane. Love that positioning.
Jump medium punch is a tool. That is for sure.
It's like the best version that like a normal like that has ever been in Street Fighter.
Oh no, yeah, that's for sure. That exchange, I think that's much better. I take it back.
One thing I'm always impressed by with Bananakin, though, is that when he's burned out, he still has awesome reactions with the name of the move that I'm forgetting.
Yes.
Like with amnesia.
Departure. You got amnesia? No, JP.
I was trying to set you up. It didn't work very well, but here's Space Boy with round number 1.
No, I was paying attention to Space Boy. I couldn't help it, David. Do that in between the rounds, not like actually during, because I'm not awake all the way. I'm not going to lie to you. That was actually super imperative. But, hey, it worked out pretty well for Space Boy despite dropping that perfect knuckle setup.
Oh, interesting series. Oh, what a call by Bananakin.
They're still in time. Yes, sir. Sets up the departure. Yes, and the pickup is there. Sets up departure again. The drive impact. Why not? And the pickup. Level 3. He's put him into the loop. What a block.
But not enough. Bananakin will take the round.
Very expensive round at that, but albeit you're looking at the bar below from Space Boy and the amount of life he had left. If Bananakin just went for another departure setup, he could have died. He actually could have died from one dodge.
Getting a little bit of distance at the beginning here is Bananakin. Navigating it well though, Space Boy. You got to walk in and out sometimes to get away from that. Not all about always moving forward.
A little bit of a delay to the stagger. You see a Bananakin intentionally whipping his normal to catch, or at least, no, not whipping. He was trying to catch the counter poke coming in from Space Boy, as we usually have been seeing with some of the drive rush approaches now. Oh, boy, that's hella damage, by the way.
Yeah, that's top life.
No, he's not. You sent him to the hospital.
Yeah, come on, man. What are you talking about?
Oh, what a call! There, but still the activity from Bananakin.
What do you got? What do you got? Here's the burn.
There'd be a lot of chip damage for sure. Oh, up until that point, Space Boy. Obviously, like the option of standing medium punch. It pushes Luke so far forward. Uppercut. Get off of me.
Excellent reactions. So Dread Gauge is back, but Space Boys is very soon too. There it is. Bananakin harassing a little bit from range, but Space Boy's got such a light lead that that's just not going to be very threatening at the moment.
And it's so scary too that even let some of these departures open.
Defense.
If Space Boy decides to maybe go in with a drive rush, it could be a problem.
He certainly is threatening that. Like, he's walking up into a range where that is a threat, and then not taking the big bet on it. Yeah, there it was.
But that's fine! Oh, and the burnout there? Yeah, we're going to see it.
Okay.
No way. Level 2 is active.
Level 2.
Oh, what was that? And then burnout is there. No way.
It's gonna hit. It did. It did. Is that enough? No. He gets hit. Yes. Wow.
The decision to run up tax with still time on the clock. I totally understand, like, maybe you want to pursue, like, your turn afterwards, because he's in burnout.
Yeah.
But that departure shadow was still lingering, man. The shadow was creeping. Pay the price. Overhead there. Sneaky, sneaky.
Yeah, kind of a late timing. And again, back to control. Setting it up. It's about to come out. There it is.
Uppercut. Oh, I thought he was going to make it in time. The punish counter instead. Bananakin looking for the burnout. That's why he spends the level 1. Perfect. Now he has a departure right in front of him. He has so much estate to kind of back up and still get that chip damage from the shadow.
Oh!
What in the world?
Bad read on where Luke was going to be.
Ah, you see the movement. You see the defensive capabilities of Bananakin. He's going to jump again. Yep, he delayed it this time. Space Boy finding him off with the crouch medium. Amnesia is going to be more than enough. Level 1. Boom, bang.
Yeah, again, his regular amnesia usage is just great. Like, he uses that better in burnout as JP than almost anybody.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'm waiting for the really grindy stuff on offense. This guy has gotten away with so many command grabs on Street Fighter. I'm wondering when that type of play is going to be coming out. But against Space Boy, it's so different. Just call it like that. Corner carry pretty important on that.
Oh. Right away, Shirley.
Make him pay the fee.
Yeah, the little tax to get out.
That's a departure setup.
Ooh, to the
That's
corner.
so smart. Again.
Tax. Into anything again. It's a great defense, honestly, by Space Boy. Okay, Kane to the rescue.
Interrupt.
Here we go in. Level 2 is going to come out.
He does have dry parry attack, and you know Bananakin teased the idea
What
to throw.
deep?
The defense was ridiculous, out of this world. Space Boy still can make it work, by the way. Does have critical art on deck.
Yeah, if he finds any hit. Comes away.
No way!
Did he get got? Okay! Let's go, Bananakin! What do you got?
No
what do you got?
way,
You got the kill.
dude!
You got winners, top 8.
Bananakin, you dog. That was actually sick.
What a sick reaction, man. Oh, that was so cool.
What a beast.
He was just day rushing right in front of him, and he wasn't busy enough that he was caught by the super.
Yeah, man.
On reaction, he could bring out EX Amnesia and get the kill. The banana.
That was so
moves forward.
satisfying. That was so satisfying. Gave him the slip
such a cool
and hit him with
character,
something
come on.
so appealing.
What a cool character.
I love it. I really do. And he's got the yellow on. Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't even notice,
I didn't
but
even
yeah, you're
realize
right,
it till now.
Yeah.
I respect it. I respect your play. But yo, Space Boy, big ups to him. I think there was like only one round where I feel like he made a very like anxious decision during the timeout, which is right here, right? 10 seconds left. We did have the shadow up. He tried to go for the tackle in order to pursue offense even further. There was a burnout situation with Bananakin, but this right here, again, there's something so satisfying about that ending.
Cool.
It's unfortunate that it had to happen to Space Boy. That was a highlight and a half.
There's Bananakin versus NuckleDu. We'll see that tomorrow. Both of them get a break for the rest of today. And we're going to go down to the next one here in winners top 16. Psycho versus Oni Naji.
This is huge. Psycho had quite the path on the way over. I'm pretty sure you have that list, but what a throwback picture, my man.
Wow.
Street Fighter League Season 1, you're a beast for that. Yo, Psycho, I see you. Naji as well, very, very much so active online and also in almost every weekly tournament that you could imagine.
Yeah.
This guy has been grinding and really setting the pace for this character alongside folks like Nephew as well on the other side. But Naji, again, this photo was taken from, I feel like maybe Texas Showdown. I don't even know. Maybe it could be like his profile picture. But
nice pick.
Either way, these guys, Naji specifically, has been on the come up.
Yeah, Psycho's been around for a while, and he beat Punk to get here. And in our questions to the players, we always try to find stuff out. One of the questions we typically ask is like, what controller are you using? And what that usually means is like, do you play on pad or stick or hitbox? What he said is, I'm playing on Punk's third place bronze Evo Victrix.
That's insane.
As he is Punk's former roommate. And I guess he ended up with that stick somehow. I don't know how that happened. But yeah, he did take down Punk 2-0 using Kim. We'll see that here. He says that Naji is a great player, but the matchup is cheeks. So we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see about that. I think there's a lot to be said when it comes to like the Kimberly gameplay that has like come up these last couple of weeks, these last couple of months. Really, it's been a very, very tough time. I feel like to play that character, but she has so much going for her on offense. It's just the defensive aspect that gets kind of in the way for a lot of these players, or at least with the current status of like the meta.
I think you're right. Yeah, she has a lot to say in movement and in pressure. She's got some really unique tools in both of those, but she doesn't have every option. And, you know, I don't mean to say that, like, some characters are too good in their options, but, you know, there's a set of characters that are mostly of the top tiers that, like, have both offense and neutral and also defensive options. And she doesn't really have defenses quite as good as others. Doesn't have the EX invincibility, has a slow level 1. So she kind of has to get by on the rest of the game. But the rest of the game is really good.
She is an offensive monster. And it's not like something that's new to like the Street Fighter franchise. Right? Oh, this is huge.
Starting out well meterlessly. Again, Psycho slowly navigating his way to the corner. Here's Naji.
What a response. OD Fireball to get the drive rush out of the way, not having to fear any of the repercussions. No overheads, nothing. That is such a sharp angled anti-air. I think that's like one of the better tools she has if she has to play defense. If
Very,
she has
very
time
strong
to.
anti-air. Hey. Uh-oh.
I don't know if that was like an overlap of inputs or not. Perhaps.
And back to Psycho just hanging out. One thing about the way that... Oh, my God.
What? That didn't clip?
Yeah.
That's a lot of damage. Level 1? Yeah, that's going to be more than enough damage.
Nice work. Really good station as a way to kill. Yeah, that was cool.
And it takes away 1 can. Ouch. Like, the damage to seal the round is cool, but what a good can.
I hear ya.
He needs more for the genius at play.
Very cool
kind of nasty.
Ooh.
Oh, that could have been huge. I did like the attempt at the conversion, though. I think it was a little bit too far. It's late. Lindsay Jury coming on in. I love this stuff.
That's so good, yeah. That is a bait into whatever Naji wants. Good damage. Still in there for pressure.
I was going to say, I don't think she's really had to utilize the feng shui up until this point. Make it hurt. Doesn't have enough to build a level 1, but that's totally fine.
Psycho. All right. Now the question is, how much work can he do? Here's maybe the beginning. No, Naji's away.
Even is an option for Naji. See a lot. Now there's a counter. It wasn't his turn to press. Huge.
2 hits and it's doable.
Well, you're going to build yourself a level 3 at this point as well. Psycho, this is huge!
Oh, boy.
Oh!
Saves it. He's going to go for the kill on the next hit. That's the idea. Did he find something? No.
And that's a very, very expensive loss. Yo, Naji taking it with the backside as well. This could be the huge turnaround. But, you know, having normalized damage and also a slight speed buff could be what helps Psycho excel.
That's true.
Well, that was hella meaty.
I feel like there was something intended there. But it doesn't happen, so Naji capitalizing.
Dang.
The way that the hoodies fall out.
What is that? Is that like a certain character? I'll ask that later. Anyways, Naji sitting on a pretty significant life lead, just waiting for the drive rush to come back, and the drive gauge, excuse me, to initiate this offense. It's going to be a lot now for Psycho to deal with. Put yourself in the corner, and that was a counter hit. That was a delayed medium punch. And Psycho got ripped with that instead. I mean, it's understandable. Like, when you see your opponent like put themselves on the other side, obviously that's towards the wall, you might think to yourself, they might try to back it.
It came that time. Whip. Wow. Punish with a button, but not into anything else. However, Psycho's in. Okay, read by Naji. Willing to make those defensive, risky choices.
It's so tough to contest against a low medium from Jury. I'm thinking about, like, what can Kimberly do to really whiff punish somebody? Like, maybe your stand medium kick would be long enough.
That's not really the style, right? Like, she has some great options, again, but it's not really, like, whiff punish style. Got some stuff. Not up there with somebody like Jury, though, and here comes Naji as he's in match point.
I feel like that's just been the stopper, I feel like, for Psycho majority of that round. Naji was playing it pretty steady with the normals presented.
Great defense by Naji. Getting out of there. Again, taking the risk, and again, he pays off.
Man, and he let the kicks fly out of there. He did have it backed up with an enhanced fireball, so it's understandable, but still, Psycho running into that. And running into this as well, the Buffer Fierce into the Feng Shui engine, knock him up.
It's an easy safe jump. Oh, he actually misses.
Who's that? It was a fake out? Way too early to catch anything.
Okay, Psycho is alive still. Level 3 will come out.
Not going to kill, though, but this is very significant to have that buff.
He's got to start the party.
Excellent.
Anything to do it.
Dash forward on Wake Up Naji. Was it like a, just get it over with? I don't even know.
Was it like maybe intended as perfect parry into drive rush and he just like was a little bit early on pressing the parry button? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what that might have been. In any case, match point still for him.
But even so, like the idea of dashing any type of dash forward. I don't know.
Uh-oh.
Oh, beautiful. Air to air.
Naji looking good. Is it enough?
This guy, yeah, more than enough. What a pickup and a half. Naji 2-0 Psycho in a pretty extravagant fashion towards the end. That was a really good call out against any of the jump outs too. Like normally we see him kind of like have the other person pay the tax, get uppercut for their wills. But yeah, Naji, I love that air-to-air option. That was beautifully done.
He had great defense. Super, super strong when it came to the right reads on Wake Up. And, I mean, great offense when he needed it. He had good forward movement a lot of the time.
Oh, that's rough, too, committing to that anti-air. I feel like Jury, most of the time, you have to commit to that uppercut. Maybe a crouching heavy punch, but still. There were some moments, really, really shining moments of Psycho, I think, on offense that really took Naji for a spin. I think there's been multiple times where he's gotten this corner positioning, but I think it's the decision-making for him on defense is what really got him.
Yeah, and as we were saying before, that is a tough spot for her to be in. And so you got to make these reads that are just a little tougher. I mean, it's tough for everybody on defense. But if you don't have an invincible EX move, if you got a slow level 1, you just have to make some different decisions than other characters can. And Psycho, nobody's going to get it right every time. He didn't either. And Naji will move forward.
Even with people that do have OD invincible reversals, nobody's going to get it right.
No, of course, of course. I mean, part of what I thought was great about Naji's play there is that he did have the right call on Wake Up EXTP a couple of times.
No doubt. But we're still going to see the rest of Psycho in loser's side. Man, if he has to face off against Punk again, that'd be kind of nuts. I don't think that's how it works. But Naji, he's going to be moving on into the top 8. Big congrats to him and the rest so far. We got Bananakin as well as NuckleDu. But as it stands right now, you guys have been tuning in to US, Canada, East. But we still have one more CPT qualifying spot within the United States. That's right. It's going to be US, Canada, Midwest. I should have said Canada as well. I should have just said North America. But either way, hey, the registration is closing Monday, January 15th at 10 a.m. PST. That's right. You want to make sure to sign up now. If you haven't done so already, CapcomProTour.com is where you need to go for all the information needed.
Who likes food? Of course, we all do.
What? David? Excuse me?
And Chipotle has joined hands with Capcom during this first year of Street Fighter 6. You can download the app and order some carne asada, for example, back on the grill for a limited time. Check it out. Look at that. Thanks a lot to Chipotle for providing food.
I just came back from a big Chipotle run like this weekend.
Nice.
And I definitely went in on the carne asada.
Okay.
I had it right when it was finished cooking. I was like,
oh,
dude,
nice work.
It was actually mad juicy. It actually tore apart my burrito because of how juicy it was.
It was
I'm not gonna lie,
good.
It hit towards like the middle as I was like biting down to it. I'm like, man, I should have double wrapped this bad boy.
I'm a Sofritas guy. I really like those.
Yeah.
They're really good.
Fan.
I mean, honestly, they're good. Anyway, we're going to take a break. We'll be back with more of the US, Canada, East after this.
Now I'm hungry.
Chipotle's carne asada is back. It's our most tender cuts of steak, grilled and seasoned with cumin, oregano, and coriander. Finished with fresh lime and hand-chopped cilantro. Carne asada. This is our best steak ever.
Showtime, baby!
Right now. Everyone's got a ticket for this Capcom Cup is getting a show. Right
Final game, final round! You couldn't write a better story! Get into the ring!
God, I'm low. God, my soul. All of my thoughts be dark like coal. Up to the party, y'all don't want smoke. Energize the body, raise up the yard. Right now.
I'll take on all of you!
Right now. I win it all right now.
This corner pressure is where Adrian walk up through.
Time to get serious!
RD taking it down
when you get to the commas.
That sounds good, didn't it?
Emoji going the distance.
I've seen a lot of fights in my day, but nothing even comes close to this. Rough each other right now.
Au revoir.
Meaningless
I present the Hunter from Komura.
one of the best players in the world over the course of Street Fighter V. One of the top, I would say at least like what, top 3. Of course, 2019 Capcom Cup champion. What's going on with you, brother?
What's up, bro?
My dog, it's good seeing you out here. So I gotta ask, man, we got a brand new game. We got Street Fighter 6. How are you feeling when it comes to Street Fighter 6? I know you've had some interesting thoughts about it, so you can be, you know, yeah. What's the game been like for you so far?
The game is really fun. I definitely think the fun factor is definitely at an all-time high. I think this is probably one of the most fun and interesting Street Fighter games they've ever made. There's a lot of things, but I feel like the balance is so delicate that it's so hard to tinker with anything in the game. Like, I think they did a good job trying to balance the game the way they did, though.
Well, like you said, the fun factor is crazy, but at the same time, like, you know, the resource management because of drive gauge being there from the beginning and everything, it's like it's dope at the high level and if you just kind of getting into it. One thing we already know is that you, again, won Cup back in 2019. You won 250 grand, $250,000. So what did it feel like knowing you won this tournament already and now there's a $2 million prize pool and $1 million to first place? You've already shown yourself that you can win it. So what's your mentality right now?
You know, I'm always confident in myself. I always believe in myself. In my current play in Street Fighter 6, I feel like I haven't been up to how good I was playing in 5.
You know, here going with Nan and Street Fighter 5 going with Laura, neither of them were really considered top tier. What goes in your thought process picking Manon versus instead of picking a higher tier character?
So I've always had a theory in fighting games, like it's good to pick the best character in a game, obviously, but there's always you might not know the matchup, character speciality thing, maybe in this region there's no strong Laura, Manon, whatever it might be, kind of players. So I think you have a lot of advantages. Like, you don't want to pick the best because, like,
everybody knows the matchup.
Everyone knows what they're doing. So you want to go like high, but not too high, kind of thing. So that's kind of like my golden rule. For every fighting game I've played, I've always had that same kind of like logic. You don't want to pick somebody bad.
Yeah.
But you don't want to pick somebody like too good.
Yeah.
So,
that actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That's a unique thought process. I feel like most players only go straight to like the top tier and all that.
That being said, I don't think Manon is that good.
Idom making sure he sneak that in there on the official Capcom stream. He know that they watch it and he wants some Manon buffs. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Capcom Cup champion, New York's very own IDC.
Well, we'll be seeing that guy later on, but not quite yet as we're back here with the US, Canada, East. We are a bit of the way through winner's side of top 16. We're trying to get into our top 8. One remains in that top 16 before we then go down to losers, which is where Idom is. Yes, if you're just tuning in, Idom and Punk are both in losers top 16. I'm Ultra David. I'm here with Vicious. We're going to be carrying you through the rest of this thing.
It's going to be sick, too. In regards to what had happened earlier, in case you might have missed it, we do have that refresher on the bracket. Let's take a look at who our first 3 competitors in our top 8 is. NuckleDu and Bananakin, we've seen that transpire earlier. Naji taking it down against Psycho. Psycho was the man who put Punk into losers bracket. We also have another one of those matches for you. Alex Smith and Paladin. Now, Paladin, he's the one that put Idom into losers, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, beat Fitted Cap and then qualified into this over Idom 2-1. And Alex Smith didn't have an easy path either. Had to beat FluxWaveZ, very, very strong player, and then qualified over Strife to get into this situation. So a couple of guys who have had a good day so far. Man, as you teed up at the beginning of this show, it is rare to see the disparity that we see down there. That is an entire person in between them. Like, that's a whole life. Some of the people who are in this event are that age difference in themselves. So shout out to Alex Smith, who is younger than me, who's still doing a great job.
He still looks so young.
He looks great.
Also, by the way, Alex, thank you for holding it down on Street Fighter Duel for our clan. I appreciate you, man. Long FGC is thriving because of you. But Alex Smith at
really
39
nice
years old, huh?
He
and
says,
Paladin at 16?
At 16,
Dude, and he's been doing amazing work with his current content and showing off some of the things that Ryu can do. And Ryu, although is highlighted as his main, that's been a lot of focus for that character, or at least for this player, for this character, he does have a pocket loop just in case.
Yeah. I mean, and in talking with some of the guys earlier, they were saying that even in SF5, he had a really strong Ryu. And when SF5 was out, he was like literally a single-digit age for the first couple years. So anyway, congratulations, everybody. We've made it to that point. I love it. I think it's great seeing the next generation come up. As far as Alex Smith goes, he says his fact about himself, and I've known this, is I play guitar in the death doom metal band Vacant Eyes. Check it out.
That's cool.
It is very cool.
Word?
And for Paladin, 22nd in World Warrior in points, but he's a regular at like every online tournament. We see him all the time. Alex Smith is up there all the time. A couple of guys who are grinding it a lot. And Alex Smith has something to say. Says, Paladin is a very strong player, and I hope we'll both play to the best of our abilities.
I like that.
Yeah,
I respect it a lot. I mean, like, Alex Smith has never really been one to, like, go outside the box in regards to, like, trash talk, I feel like, unless it was in person. I think he could get loud, but that's not really in his nature. He's been a really nice and humble guy to be around. But, man, I was thinking about Paladin. I don't really get to see that much interaction from Paladin in general. Like, all of his tweets have been very pleasant to look at, and also a lot of tech from that young man as well.
Right. No, I think that's cool. And we, of course, again, we asked players how you prepare for this. What do you do going into this?
Sure.
And I thought that they both had cool things to say. Alex Smith said, I've given a lot of focus to making adaptations, respecting my opponent's abilities and habits, and trusting myself. Paladin says, I studied this game, period. A lot, period.
He really does. There's a lot of really neat things that he's discovered as Ryu. But man, this actually, I haven't seen the classic costume default color 1 ever. But man, it looks nice. It looks really sharp.
Alex is going to be the first one to get the corner. Harassing a little bit.
Man, laying it down after the lights too. Normally you would think it's a turn, and I love the way he staggered it. But look at this, the plus stop. The Paladin forward throw. Not going to go for the Jarvis again. It's the man! We got the alpha throwback? How often do you get to see that used as a poke?
A little hoppy kick. There it is.
Damn, and the confirm.
Hey,
My
what a
God.
wait. He really waited a funky amount of time there. I understand why Alex tried to press the button, but it was denied.
To be fair, that was a very meaty sentence, seriously.
Yeah. Ryu's got some juice. I think he's a little underrated. Here it is.
That's
Reaction.
huge. Bang. I'll take that back. Back over the side switch.
Paladin continues to be ready. Burns Alex out.
Good decision making from Paladin. That was an OD version of that to ensure the chip count.
Uh-oh. Is that close enough? Oh, well, maybe not.
Paladin's trying to walk out of there again, trying to counter hit. No, sir. The punish counter was there. Alex, can he get a significant opening to get himself that round? He does have level 3 attack. Oh, there was the attempt for crouching heavy punch. Again, we talked about that from the last Jury player. Level 3 incoming. Paladin, so much damage. Getting game number 1. That's bad, unfortunate, right? Like Alex Smith with Jury, not committing to the uppercut, a true invincible anti-air, right? That crouching heavy punch was everything for Paladin. And it's a pretty common occurrence, actually. When you get some of these Sotos doing some of these jump heavy punches, there's a lot of interactions where it's like if you press it early enough, it just outright stuffs the anti-air.
Oh, yeah, great button. Again, I think the Ryu's definitely got some juice. Chases it. Okay,
That
funky
was so
timing on
delayed.
that. Yeah. I really like his framings in frame trap so far. This is cool.
First low forward we've seen. It's a very common button from a Shoto, but man, I only see it once thus far. That was actually a weird Shogeki. Alex Smith able to get the big conversion off of that. Again, now chasing Paladin down, as you should. Rolling burnout, forward throw.
Paladin was pumping on Super right there. You could see Alex, I think, saw it and backs off a little bit. Oh, nice work. And that anti-air, man, after having lost that previous game due to only trying a non-involt anti-air, this dude has really shaped up in that round. It's a big anti-air.
And that is a heavy starter. Quite literally, Paladin with a standing heavy punch. Just running right into it with a parry. It's the meter you're after. Oh. And you get the start
Dude.
with the charger.
Could have had a little more.
No way. I like that. Keeping it simple. Level 3. Build back your gauge. The damage really significant. Not going to be a significant life lead. It is a lot of damage for sure.
But it also was a risk. If Paladin gets a knockdown right away into the corner.
Look at the damage incoming too.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to spend it. Drive it forward. It's of mine. Boom.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem of being burned out and spending all your super. It's potentially great, high upside, but there is a risk to that as well.
Don't press that button. This guy Ryu is hounding for damage. The extension, charge up as well.
The DP came back to neutral, where I have really liked Paladin's forward movement. Again, he's used the fireball as a shield nicely to move in. This time he's ready.
Oh. It's such an interesting switch off between like Paladin going for the fireball, going for like different special moves. It's hard to keep track of what he wants to do in neutral.
I agree. Again, Alex is there. Oh,
Jeez,
boy.
and then you get stuff like that from the drive impact. Not random, but it was actually a very, very fortunate circumstance that Alex actually tried to go for.
Got him!
Oh my god.
As Paladin hunted for the crouching medium kick, and with that, he punches his ticket 2-0 into winner's side top 8. 16 years old. What is this about teenage Ryu players doing well in the CPT? Not the first one.
Ending Walker versus Paladin, first to 10, Ryu mirror match. Give it to me.
I love
Make
it, man.
it happen.
He played so great. That was a fantastic couple of games from him.
That was phenomenal. I think there's a lot to really be said about Paladin. His approach was so patient in the very beginning of it, and then he decides to turn it on. I think his sequencing also on when it comes to like him getting the knockdown and what he's about to do, it's so ambiguous, right? Most of the time you kind of get like in the loop, in the cycle as a commentator. You're like, yeah, we've seen this option before. But Paladin giving some really different looks that actually make you think, damn, like this throw bait is going to be really significant. If he actually throws me, well, okay, I'll take that. But whatever comes after it, if I bite and he actually throw baits successfully, I'm dead. I'm actually dead.
Yeah, I really liked his frame trap timings. His forward movement timings were great. You know, he wasn't dissuaded from jumping even though he got anti-aired a bunch of times in the round before that one. and just had a real clear goal in mind, I think, and some interesting ways of achieving it. So shout-outs to Paladin. He moves forward. Alex Smith is still in, but is going to be down in loser side. So that's your top 8 winners. We'll see them tomorrow. NuckleDu, Bananakin, Naji, Paladin. Enjoy your night. Prepping for tomorrow. But we're going to go down to loser side for the rest of this.
This is going to be sick, too. Again, this is a one-shot only type of deal. Adrian NY going up against FluxWaveZ. Now, Guile versus JP, a very common occurrence. These two players, also common occurrences on multiple streams, multiple weeklies, if you will. But FluxWaveZ, I feel like, has been having a lot of the big spotlight lately because of his character decision-making and also his performances as of late.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he kills it regularly when it comes to big online weeklies that we have in the FGC. Has been doing great work. And, you know, this is not the first game he's done great work in. He was strong in SF5. But interestingly, he notes in his fact about himself that Street Fighter V was his first competitive fighting game. So good work that he's really picked it up. Oh, my God, that was 8 years ago. So he's had a little bit of time.
Yeah, and he's evolved immensely, man. I still remember the young man that came through to one of the Red Bull the Battlegrounds events. He got invited over for winning his local event. He had a giant binder with him, full of notes, all handwritten, and he would go through it every single time. He was the reason why there was a lot of breaks. But I will say this, it was like, you know what, take as much time as you need because this is godlike.
Oh, that's super cool, yeah. So Adrian's down here because he lost to NuckleDu. He did, though, beat players including Base, Diaphone, Complex 90, and then Fitted Cap to get to where he is right here. FluxWaveZ lost to Alex Smith and beat Simple Tricks to get into this position. You know, Adrian, we mentioned that he plays a lot in these big tournaments. I looked up his Start GG history just to see, and yeah, I saw him like entering a ton of stuff, just very consistently entering constantly. However, as far as I could tell, this is the first big online tournament top 16 that he has made, and what a time to do it. So shout out to him for getting up there when he really needed to. As far as FluxWaveZ, got some words from him.
JP does well against Guile, so I'm comfortable. But I also make bad decisions, so I'm scared. The duality of man.
That's awesome, yeah.
I do appreciate that. That is actually the truth.
Yeah, that is the truth. Yeah,
for everybody playing in the CPT, man. We totally get that. You can just insert character here, and then the rest is fine.
You're right. You're totally right. Yeah. FluxWaveZ was in World Warrior Canada East, of course. Most of all the rest of the players in this were in US Canada East. So in that, he got second place. Almost qualified for Capcom Cup already, not quite.
Fell to Joe Umerogan, if I'm not mistaken.
I think that's right. Yeah. And he says about himself in terms of how he prepped, I grinded ranked, studied opponents, labbed scenarios, you know, the usual. Just sick. I like that's the usual. And as far as Adrian NY, his prep is just playing in weekly tournaments, as you mentioned. That's what he does. He also says looking rough because of the matchup, but he might play loose. So we'll see if this doesn't go well, see if maybe he switches.
Starting to see a little bit of the pattern from pressure from FluxWaveZ. Not too shy about letting that roundhouse rip. A little bit of a funky occurrence too, Adrian. What are you going to do with these booms? You got to make it count, but it's FluxWaveZ. He's not going to be deterred, right? He's going to be spending the OD to kind of reset that momentum against the fireball pressure. That is huge, actually, a big trade-off, number one, for FluxWaveZ. Oh, too far for the break.
Not punished. And Adrian gets to be a little patient. He's got a slight life lead. He's got a big drive gauge lead. He doesn't really need to do a lot.
That's such a deceptive tool too.
Okay. Slight miss on that.
This has been such a very okay. I was waiting for the big risk, and Adrian having the appropriate response. OD flash kick. I wonder if he could have maintained his charge and still anti-aired. Actually,
I wonder that as well. Now the burn.
Feel it.
Oh, trying to get over crouching medium kick is a cute idea with that upside down kick.
I think it's worth. Is
that in range? It is. Yeah, okay.
Doubt. Good response. And he's about to get his drive gauge back. Up until this point. Man, Adrian slipping. And that was a moment where Adrian could have just held back. Right? I think there was a moment where he's like, you know, I can get my drive gauge back at least in this moment. I could possibly get chipped out. No longer a question. Overthrow.
I'd love to see some more offense here. He is mounting it. He's trying. He's trying to get the corner. Pushing slowly. Jump medium to the rescue as FluxWaveZ gets to move forward out of the corner.
That's a funky scenario. Like, even if you do maintain your charge, like, is it far enough to actually with the flash kick?
That trade, I think, is fine on a lot of the times, but not right now for FluxWaveZ. It just has way less life.
Ooh.
Ooh, he wanted something as an anti-air. Nothing came.
Adrian hasn't really been showing off his card to charge. Like, he's just been moving back and forth a bunch, trying to close the gap against FluxWaveZ, not following along with the fireball just yet. This level 2 is everything.
Oh,
because
you
he just
gotta
put him
block
in burnout.
properly. Yeah. No, that's not gonna cut it. Nope.
I lied. Was that drive reversal?
Like, drive reversal.
What is exactly what put him into burnout? It's so interesting that you see like the mechanics drain the meter first before you actually see the action. I actually wasn't thinking about it. I thought the block had put him into burnout. I was like, what? I didn't even see that.
Drive reversal, yeah.
Is that like a now I'm thinking to myself, it's like that could be a really sneaky way to throw in that drive reversal. It's like, did the opponent actually put me into burnout and I could actually pursue my offense further?
I suppose, yeah.
Right?
Okay.
At the very end. So I do like the idea. That actually tricked the hell out of me. I thought genuinely that FluxWaveZ was the one that put Adrian into burnout. So if I was thinking like as FluxWaveZ, like, all right, well, I'm going to just press a button and go on with the chip sequence.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then the drive reversal hit. I was like, what?
So, all right, game 1 didn't go well. As we mentioned, he said that he might use Luke. His quote is, might use Luke, IDK. So, I don't know. Maybe that's where we're at right now.
It's not going to be the case. It's going to be Guile. Is this a bartender outfit? Is that what that was? Like, he's got a...
This Guile?
He's got like a side gig as a bartender.
I can see that.
Maybe he owns his own bar, perhaps. That's what I've heard, anyway. I don't know if that's actually real. The door with a couple of lights and the spacing trap with the fierce as well. Not going to really come out of anything. Adrian hasn't really focused after that sequence. If you're taking a gander at it, that's huge.
Yeah, this is exactly where FluxWaveZ wants to be now. Comfortable spot. On Guile to try to move forward. Just uncomfortable to throw booms there, of course, because the spike can come up from under your feet, so it's not easy to play a normal game. And he's going to be right back into that same situation again.
Up the piercing. The grid that drive gauge that exchange is just fine for FluxWaveZ up until this point. Adrian doing the most with his sonic booms now, but it's still like at this deficit, he still has to be the one to move forward, or else you fear of the burnout.
Yeah, which is where he is now. If he doesn't perfect parry. Ooh. Yeah.
To air, that's all she wrote. FluxWaveZ looking at match point. Adrian again just has not been able to really establish himself on offense and has been playing in the web of FluxWaveZ majority of the time.
Yeah, if he could find some strong offense, maybe things could be different, but as you said, that just has not come.
To be fair, I think FluxWaveZ has done a fantastic job of getting himself into a set play momentum, or mentality, I should say. He's got the departure set up pretty well. He does have some of the ghosts catching Adrian, and also just him navigating around booms. But to be fair, I think Adrian has not been able to throw as many booms just yet because of those trades that have been happening from this fight.
Right, yeah, it's tough to throw booms in this match.
Big interruption. It could have led to so much more.
Yeah, right, and before that he had a drop combo as well, where you did actually manage to find the flash kick anyway. So a couple of issues for him. But, here's a big opportunity. If he finds the hit, he can already kill.
No,
that's
too late.
No! Oh, man, you gotta feel for him on that. CA's on the other side.
That is gonna kill, actually.
Dude, it's gonna be close.
That's CA.
It is CA. I don't know. I'm not sure. I wouldn't be surprised. It's enough.
Oh my god. That's disgusting. That's actually kind of unfortunate.
I mean, you gotta feel for Adrian, right? He had a chance to take that round, if nothing else. At least a round to then get settled, right? Get his head back into the game, and I mean, a big drop. And that led to his loss, which he, as a result, is out of the tournament. So it's going to be FluxWaveZ who moves forward.
Yeah, there's a lot to really be said about the matchup, sure, but it's another thing for it to play out the way it did. FluxWaveZ did a fantastic job of really like neutralizing one of the big things that Guile is known for. That sonic boom has not really been a very valid strategy, I feel like, for Adrian at this point, right? As soon as he found out the sonic booms weren't working, I think his approach on offense wasn't quite necessarily like all there just yet, for lack of better words, really.
I mean, a lot of guys consider it a bad matchup, and you understand. It's just, as we've been saying, it's hard to throw booms, hard to get set up normally. JP kind of like controls the stage area that you like to control.
That's fair.
But aside from that, as we saw right there, that was a drop combo that could have been the round. Before that, there was another drop combo, and before that, there was another drop combo. So, I mean, we've all been there. Like, it's a tough spot to be in, to lose a tournament match where in the last couple rounds, you drop situations like that really could have led to different results. That's what you will be thinking about after this.
For the rest of the season.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, that's a tough way to go out. So I hope for Adrian next time will be better. But for now, FluxWaveZ versus Alex Smith will be in the next round. We're going down to the next one in round 1. Going to be Kami and Smage. coming up next?
I never know where Kami is anymore. I feel like he's been traveling a lot and getting a lot of that exposure for his journey of Street Fighter 6. But now I think like as of late, I've seen a lot more of his streams. He's been restreaming a lot of like SFL stuff, CPTs. I wouldn't be surprised if he's currently streaming his run now. But on the other hand, Smage has been doing pretty damn good work on some of the local events, weekly events, as jury, coming in from a different game as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, where he's considered to have some of the best footsies for sure. And in this game, no different. In fact, interestingly, he said that he started his competitive journey in Street Fighter 4. He's been playing ever since in a bunch of different fighting games. He had great results earlier in Street Fighter 6, having made, I want to say it was like top 4 at CEO. Like, he did really, really well at CEO in Street Fighter 6. And yeah, since then, oftentimes shows up big in online weeklies. He got 11th in points when it came to the World Warrior. So yeah, definitely doing good work. Whereas for Kami, I looked up his recent Start GG placings, and there just like weren't as many as I have seen from him in the past. That said, here he is, and he's got something to say. It says, Luke, still got them nervous.
Yeah, that is for sure. You know what's funny? Like every so often, like I'll be able to tune into his stream, and he'll like boot up Street Fighter 5 and play Luke, and still have that same mentality of like, I'm going to bully the hell out of you with this character. I think he's just done a great job of like figuring out how the game of Street Fighter should be played. I think he's been playing around in like a lot of like high level circles for so long.
Oh, for sure.
Now,
for sure.
right? That it's just kind of like fully acclimated within him to figure out what needs to be done.
Player.
So I think overall, despite not having as many tournament results over on Start GG, I think he's one of the players that it's like, you see him in the top 16 spot, it's like, damn, he's still like so dangerous.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I don't mean to imply that he's not doing well, just that I haven't seen him play as often as sometimes I do.
Yeah.
But he's definitely very good. When it comes to Smage, how did you prep? I started playing again 2 weeks ago. Pretty good. When it comes to Kami, how did you prep? Watch anime and play rank.
That's true, yeah. I can definitely attest to that. I think Kami's he makes sure he's updated with all of his anime. He's playing a lot on stream. Wherever he's at. This man be traveling.
What a little back off. Yeah, that's good timing. Kami escapes.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty huge, right? Kami still maintaining his drive games against a burnt-out Smage.
Ooh.
A little bit problematic. And, you throw that out there to see whether or not they're going to try to counter-poke against the Smage. You get that. Tails there. Drivers forward throw now. Getting closer to that corner. What was that? I think Smage might have been trying to jump out of the corner. Perhaps.
And now it's Kami who backs off a little bit.
Totally understandable. At least within the timing of him getting some drive gauge back to maybe cancel forward.
Oh, again. Looking for the same idea. It's on Smage to move forward. Kami's playing really, really well right now. What a wall. Oh!
You okay?
I just...
Dig it. Okay. Carry, not gonna get the punish counter. Oh, that could have been so much more, but it's still going to be enough. He gets the drive rush forward again. Smage with a very clutch activation and also the very clutch opening against Kami to seal the rest of that.
Interesting back and forth round. They both had situations that looked like they had control in. And you can tell how confident Kami feels about his spacing. He's just in and out of the exact same range constantly.
A lot more active with the fireballs this time around as well. Giving Smage something to think about outside of just the normals, right? Instead of like watching him coming with the fireball. Not going to spend the level 3 here, and I do like that. We're checking the movement. See Smage, what his tendencies are on defense.
Good job of mixing it up defensively, at least so far. See if Kami can solve it. He's in.
Oh, you could have. I totally understand if you don't want to activate the first round.
Yeah, right. You could have killed with level 3, but didn't think it was worth it quite yet. Hold on, though. Maybe. Smage has a lot of work to do here.
Oh, that's huge. Yes, sir. All you got to do is finish the rest of it. Kami on the board with so much potential damage incoming off of a single hit. Will it be via one of the low mediums, perhaps? But it's going to be fireballs. That Smage just thinking about up until this point was not able to counter poke the drive rush. You saw the counter hit there from Kami. Not willing to spend the level 3, by the way.
Yeah, it's true. Yet again. He's a little bit late on that. He gets to move in. He had seen an EXTP there before in a very similar situation. This time it doesn't come. out of the corner. Okay. Time for offense? Yes. Oh!
This level 3 is going to be pretty significant. Right? Not going to kill just yet. Samij has an opportunity to maybe get a fuzzy setup.
That felt good, didn't it?
I don't think it's
I mean,
close
if it's a
enough.
grab, he's already going to kill.
Oh.
Oh, the burn! There it is. There it is.
That was actually so hotly contested. I'm actually kind of curious, man, if it would have been a whole different story had Kami let that level 3 rip earlier. We're going into the Coliseo now. Samij starting things off. The perfect carry is here. Forward. Yes, that is the Bonchan punish. Forward fierce, crouching heavy punch into the knuckle for the OP. Counter hit as well. Samij is going to be in big trouble. He's already in the corner. You are stuck.
So much more of an offensive style here from Kami. Look at it. It's just a complete 180 almost. Think about how often he was walking back and forth previously, how almost very neutral heavy he was. This time, that man's in there. This is more of what he was playing like in level 1. No, just like that. Right back in. So doing a really good job of mixing it up between neutral and pressure.
I wonder if that could have been an uppercut. I think, if there was a parry on there, it could have been, but I'd imagine Kami wanted to really get that perfect parry to cause that burnout with Samij. Oh, that is huge. Do it again. Dash up, level 2.
What? You could see him try to dash. We saw the little funky forward movement from him. Just an error, unfortunately.
I wonder if level 1 actually could have been enough to kill.
Man. Samij is still very much in this.
The defense is there. Is it going to get
no
throws from Kami? What defense?
Oh, man,
no
that was
way.
so good. Turned an excellent defense into sudden pressure yet again.
Kami not wavering one bit. That could have been multiple frame traps that he could have run into. Willing to take the throw. None of it came. None of it came out from Samij.
There it is. DP.
Oof.
Just like that, it's a huge opportunity for Kami. Will he spend it this time?
You have to get that drive gauge back. One more sequence is going to be pretty significant. Kami already has that corner pressure. Just a slight walk up. Crouching medium punch kick already spelled danger for Samij or the Fierce.
Just a nice little cage.
Oh my god, what I want to say about that interaction. No, I'm going to say that sucks. That actually sucks. You see the hammer fist completely obliterate the anti-air attempt from Jerry directly above her because she can't really uppercut from that angle. That's the worst part about it.
Yeah, really, really nice jump by Kami. So for Kami in that last game, it was much more about playing pressure. Some neutral moments, of course. Some great defense when he needed it. And Smage has a better read this time.
Burnout.
Okay, here we go. Samij got his stand. So match point now for Samij. And that was more about his offense yet again. So really back and forth adaptations by these guys. Parry! Denied entrance by Smage.
Jesus, look at the meter you build off of that. Then you get the save jump as well. Baiting out the throw. Are we going to go for the damage? Yes, we are. A little bit. OD uppercut Samij taking the big risk. That actually probably could have killed.
No.
Oh boy. Crouching medium
Speaking
punch.
of, he's going to hope to build 3 on this.
He does! But it doesn't matter.
Does he not even need it?
No way.
Woo! Nice work. That means that they are both at match point. Man, what a match this is so far.
I legit thought maybe he would have lived by a little bit. So.
Yeah, no. Excellent work by Kami.
Oh, what? Was it because he was too
recovers
shallow?
well.
Huge! Damn! Interesting conversion. Okay, I've only seen, what's funny? I've only seen Punk do that.
All right, on Samij. Parry! This is maybe the beginning. It's back throw. Oh, he'd love to get a burnout.
Do it again.
He might. Kami's playing great D yet again. But he's got level 3. He's still very dangerous. Samij, if he finds the right hit right now, he can seal it already.
This is huge.
The defense from Kami, key. This whole time it's been key. Look at the man just hanging
He's
on.
not pressing a single button. This guy, Kami, is on a different level of defense. His drive gauge is back. And it's Samij.
That was coast to coast. Kami survives. What defense? That man held block from coast to coast and still found the end, the W, to move on.
Jesus. That is East Coast if I ever seen it. That is the epitome of playing the turtle defense to a T. Kami phenomenal defense. Smage, a little stubborn in his ways on offense, but to be fair, like, who could blame him? That's so difficult. You've layered so many throws prior to that. It's like, man, this guy's got to press a button, right? He even delayed some of his offensive pressure to make it feel like a throw was coming, but Kami didn't bite. He was willing to take that throw all day if needed.
That's quite some discipline right there.
Insane amounts of discipline. Great showcasing from both, man. Smage, just a tough draw on trying to make Kami flinch. I think that's the highlight of it all, really.
Yeah, like, could he make Kami crack? And ultimately, no. Again, a lot of really interesting back and forth play. Some counter adaptations from both. Both chose to play a little bit more offense. Here was the example of Kami doing that. This round is where he really broke out with that. Then we saw Smage try the same. But man, it was just denied by Kami and his excellent defense. Yeah, that little error there, unfortunately, but it ends up working out for him.
A little bit of a brain fart on that one because you have access to both supers, and both supers looked like it was going to kill. 2 is guaranteed, but level 1 is like, yeah, you know, maybe. I will say this though, man. These final moments of offensive pressure from Smage, it's like, how do you even? Like,
it's not often that in these replays we typically see like big combo, but that replay, as it should, is about blocking. Because that is why he ended up taking that match in that last round. It was about blocking. It was excellent defense by Kami that puts him through, or he'll play against Psycho in the next round.
It's going to be insane, man. Watching what's about to come here and the rest of the losers side. Man, Punk versus MaxSama, then NY Mondo versus Idom. Are you kidding me right now? This is going to be one for the books for sure. But before we get into all that, we got to talk about a little bit before we get into our break with the Bucklers Boot Camp that we've been talking about for majority of the season. If you guys want to break a sweat from the game, actually be sure to register for the boot camp with a QR code down below. With Bucklers Boot Camp, it is a free game link, mobile-friendly website with all the features to support your enjoyment of Street Fighter 6, as you guys have been doing these last couple of months. You can check out player data on there, see what your friends are doing, all the clubs that you may or may not want to join, ranking information, all at the ease of your fingertips. You can also find other information on the characters, as well as the in-game events that are coming out, as well as like all the big collaborations. There's plenty of rewards to go through, and the updates that are coming up for this lifespan of Street Fighter 6. If you guys want to check it out, be sure to scan it down below for Bucklers Boot Camp to make the most out of your Street Fighter journey.
Well, Street Fighter League, US and Japan, have both crowned their champions. Congratulations in the US SFL to team Spoiler Redacted, and in Japan to team Spoiler Redacted. Street Fighter League EU, however, continues with Week 10 next week as they get closer to crowning their champions. Ultimately, next month, they'll all gather in Hollywood, California for the title of World Champions that will happen at Capcom Cup next month.
I'm so excited to see the finale of EU. We're only like a couple of weeks away before we see the playoffs and that grand finals as well. Big shout out to the talent over there. Obviously, Logan Sama hosting it, F-Word, as well as Jammers each and every time with really great insight and also entertainment. These guys are nuts. Really, really great job over to the folks across the pond. But also, if you guys have been following along, we've had Mask Away be a huge part of our Capcom Pro Tour as of late with Storm Collectibles. They brought a classic and iconic set of gaming characters back to life with their ever so high quality collectible action figures. You can see it down on the right side, stormco.com.hk. If you scan the QR code above you, I almost said below, there's a ton of collectibles to go through. And it's not even just for the most recent characters in their designs of Street Fighter 6. Obviously, you see Luke and Ryu, but you also have this was very interesting, the Ultra Street Fighter 2 versions of Fei Long and Blanca. But what's really cool about that is you see on the top right of this graphic of the characters, you have Violet Ken being showcased for the very, very first time in official lore from the Capcom side, and that character was debuted in Ultra Street Fighter 2, so I do like that. We have a big roster of characters with their different outfits. You have from 2 all the way to 6 in a very wide variety of outfits. I think it's really cool of them. So again, check it out, stormco.com.hk, or scan the QR code on the top right. Ladies and gentlemen, when it comes down to it, you don't want to miss what's about to transpire in the losers side. We have 2 heavy hitters in peril, and it's going to be pretty interesting. Don't miss it. It's going to be pretty damn good. Get some snacks, get some hydration. I definitely need it. We'll see you after this break.
You're really making all of this by hand.
Oh yeah. The avocados are hand mashed, the chips are hand tossed, and everything is made fresh.
You make it fresh every day?
Yes, every day. The Chipotle way is we make it fresh every day.
Sounds delicious.
command the stage. Unduke button. Make way for the ninja star. From the Bushimu.
I live for battle. A second helping of you.
The time for battle is here. So duke it out with me.
Shall we begin then? Do you need to take a rest? Do enjoy this.
I'm game if you are. You'll see.
Yeah, we gonna crank it up. Let's get it on.
Another mission awaits. Do you plan to fight at all? Quiet.
All right, I'm ready. Your footwork's sloppy. This some kind? Behold this body of work. You are lucky. Get ready. I'll show you strong. Allow yoga to guide you. What is it? The power of yoga.
I'll show you the power of my kung fu.
I'm ready for you. Just bring it! Think you could break my defense? Got you in my sights. Smart choice. Bring it. Hadouken!
もしバーンアウトして辛いと思うのなら、そもそもバーンアウトしない運用を心がける必要がまずある。これまず第一。まあそれでもなお人は愚かである。そっからじゃあどうするんですかをじゃあもう一個考えていきましょうか。ちょっと面白いあれがあるんだけど、通常時ってガードするとマイナスじゃないですか。要するにドライブゲージが減るんで良くないんですよってなるんだけど、バーンアウトしてはむしろ逆で、通常時ガードするともうゲージがもらえるんですよ。そうですよね。だから技をガードするっていうのはバーンアウト中お得なんですよ。めちゃめちゃお得。だから俺は結構そろそろ投げてくるなと思ったらボタンを押す。そうすると相手は打撃と投げを2択なんだけど、投げを食らわないとこっち崩れないじゃん。で打撃を打ち続けるとこっちもこうモリモリゲージがもらえるから、そういうのもありなのかなっていう。
モダン視点の話にちょっとここはさせていただくと、SA があるときは守れる。
まあそうだよね。
これやこれすぐ出せますからモダンだったら。
じゃあないときどうするのか。心理なんだけど、相手がバーンアウトしてるとえぐい打ちたくなる。
いやめちゃめちゃわかるですね。
10秒に1回打ってきます。間違いない。だから飛んでいいと思います。これでもう逆にね、すごい大ダメージ取れるんで狙うといいのかなとは。確かに。
We are here with the Alpha, the leader of the Alpha Academy, Punk Dugall. What's going on, bro?
How you doing, bro?
Hey, man. I ain't used to seeing you in that green. What we got going on right there? I was looking pretty clean, bro.
Yeah, it's a new jersey. I got online. Y'all can get it too if you go on the FluxWaveZ website. So, y'all can also buy one of these like I did, so y'all should cop the FluxWaveZ merch. I know it's looking nice, right? So
it's definitely looking clean.
Go get that.
It's looking crispy. I might have to cop one of those, bro. So now seeing where it's come to, bro, like now you really probably couldn't imagine like the fighting game community becoming what it is now. Like we just see Evo 7,000 plus entrants, bro. Are you surprised at how big everything is now?
It's definitely surprising. from watching as a kid all the time, and you just see, even though I wasn't going to tournaments, I understood how they weren't that big.
Yeah.
You know, I look at the registrations and stuff. Outside of Evo, other tournaments weren't huge.
Yeah.
Street Fighter V got them a bit more bigger, but now I'm sure they're going to be very big with a lot of players going. So I just think that Capcom did a great job at marketing this game. And
bro, the launch was so fire, though.
Yeah, they just was very good from getting people like Lil Wayne and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I feel like it helps everything out, and they just did a really good job on market. I didn't think it would be like it is now. 7,000 people at Evo is crazy. Is crazy.
All right, so what do you think about 6? I gotta ask you from like the Street Fighter nerd in me, bro. I gotta ask you from a technical standpoint.
It just has a lot of stuff you got to be ready for at all time. You got to be ready to whiff punish, check a drive rush, check a drive impact, DP, an anti-air,
drive rush.
And you just get back into neutral whenever you want. If I don't check it, you got some free plus frames, and I'm guessing already. Yeah, I think the game is way more fun than Street Fighter V was.
Me too.
I feel like just even for spectators, it's just you watch the game and you're just excited about the smallest thing. Someone react to the drive impact and the screen froze, so you already hype. You know what's going to happen.
So $1 million for first place at Capcom Cup. If you were to win $1 million, what are you doing with it?
Me, I just want to be able to give my family a house. Is like the big thing. Where I like the $1 million this year. It can give them something. They like living. I feel like I live okay. Well, you know, it's still hard for me to take them out of where they live at. So,
it's like I feel like that's like a common thing, kind of where we come from, like a survivor's guilt type of. You know, you've heard of that before? Yeah. I think it's
like
common where we
just
come
want to help the people that if you didn't have them, you just wouldn't even be living, or you wouldn't grow up the way you grew up. So, for me, just being able to give my family a house is probably the thing that I would like to do the most.
Bro, honestly, you're a real ass dude, bro. Like the stuff that you get emotional about at this point, man. I just gotta say, I like on some man-to-man stuff. I know we even be having our stuff, trash talking, all that stuff like that, and going back and forth, bro. But honestly, even like man-to-man, I love you, bro, and respect you, bro.
I appreciate that, bro.
Seriously, man. This has been the Alpha, the one and only Punk the God, and we have more CPT action coming at you right now.
And only Rob TV could really get that type of emotion from somebody, man. It's a really, really deep and heavy conversation to have, but a lot that really rides on some of these players, right? In terms of like the passion and the pressure both coming into these big events. You know, we talked about this one being one of the bigger events that we've had in the CPT. Over 600 players and only one moving on. And we had seen Punk in a bunch of different trials and tribulations throughout weekly tournaments, international events, but this is the one that I feel matters the most for players like him, as right now he is currently on the loser's side. My name is Vicious, here with Ultra David. We've been bringing you along this journey, but just as a refresher, let's take a look at the bracket and what we have coming up next.
It's going to be down there on loser's side, FlyQuest Punk versus Oni AGN MaxSama. After that, NY Mando versus Xset Idom. Those are our remaining round one losers side matches. And yeah, the names Punk and Idom being in round one losers of top 16, it's not something you hear very often. But that's where they are. Punk having been sent down by Psycho, somebody who he knows well, of course, former roommates. And now it's up to him to move on or to MaxSama to move on. We will see which one gets the job done. That's where we're going next. Punk was third place in World Warrior. He was second in points overall before that, so he's had success, of course. And I feel like he gets top 3 or wins like every online tournament.
Right.
Like, he's just always up there. If you are somebody who watches regular Street Fighter 6 big online tournament content, and like I got to imagine a lot of people watching right now are, you see him all the time. He's always up there. And sometimes it's with characters that you expect. Cammy, for example, is down there at the bottom left. That's certainly one to look for. But sometimes it's like his chat will be like, hey, play Honda. And he like,
okay, I'll do it.
He does it.
Yeah, and he does it well.
Goes really far.
I mean, like, it's only going to be to his benefit no matter who he chooses. But this is going to be a very interesting one, right? MaxSama, I didn't really get to see a lot of like the big information coming in from him from Star GG, but what I did see is that he's a pretty avid competitor in a multitude of different fighting games as well. Like, he's just won, he claims to have won back-to-back tournaments for a Grand Blue of some sort. So I will say this, I think he's been very competent in that style of play, because I feel like that particular game that he's excelled at is very similar to Street Fighter in terms of the pacing of it all. So I'm actually very, very curious to see what he's going to deliver as Marisa. So very excited to see also just that name in general keep popping up even more so now, because I haven't been able to see that in previous weekly events. Honestly, it's my first time really being able to see MaxSama.
It's the same for me. Yeah, I tried to do some research in terms of like how did he do in World Warrior, and I didn't see any entrances in World Warrior, for example, for the region. So yeah, I mean we'll see how it goes. He lost to Merculo, that's why he's down here, but he beat Sonic Soul and made it past Sami as well to get into the situation. Marisa is his choice, and for Punk it will be Cammy. Punk.
What a color sequence!
Dude, that is gorgeous. That's the new outfit, right? Or is that the old outfit?
Is that like
old
a
outfit.
dark green, or is that a black, or is that a dark blue? I'm not going to get into that conversation.
Oh, no.
But I'm not trying to do that. I promise you, I'm not trying. It looks really great. It looks really great.
Beautiful white dress.
Shut up, David. MaxSama versus Punk. Already off to a great start. Did get the punish counter on the Superman punch.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great spot for MaxSama. Already in a situation where, 2 hits is for the kill. Punk knows that.
Okay. Oh, that was right on the money, too. At the shins for the full conversion of the counter hit. This is where it gets kind of dicey, right? Marisa can't really do a lot against some of these throws, especially in the current state. Number one, the Gladius punch to try to maybe absorb a hit on the way out, but Punk, he assessed the risk a long time ago. He was like 3/4 of the screen away.
And what a back movement by Punk. What a whiff punish by Punk. That was really good stuff.
And I didn't think she was going to have enough damage to cut it, because Marisa, she does have a little bit of extra vitality. That sequence off of that whiff punch was a lot.
Yeah, that's it. I really like how MaxSama got Punk into the corner in the first place. Had some good pressure, too. Keeping things tight here.
That was cool.
Yeah.
A little bit of a delay on the medium.
Oh,
that's huge. Look at the damage without any bar being spent. Safe jump as well. Keeps the pressure up. And you know what's really interesting? Yeah, Punk hasn't really been moving just yet. Even when he chooses.
That was sick.
It was only a matter of time.
Come on.
I was layering it to see whether or not MaxSama would throw out the unfold, because it was only a matter of time. Punk hasn't really chosen movement as a defensive decision as often.
Seriously, great pressure by MaxSama.
Oh,
no.
Even bigger damage. Are you going to spend
so
it? You
much
have
life.
to, right?
He's going to, You get the corner, you do 60%. You still got half your drive gauge.
Drive rush forward to bait, or do you actually stick it out with the meaty? Drive rush forward, right? Let me see it. The meaty choice.
What a jump!
This is
patience, then jump, and complete reversal now of positioning as Punk, if he wants, can pressure.
Oh, so much smarter this time. He actually just walked out up until that point where it was a really awkward exchange. Punk manages to find himself near the corner again.
Okay, a chance maybe for Punk, who feels to me a little more timid than I usually see. He's maybe waiting for MaxSama to make a bad choice, but that just really hasn't happened. There hasn't even been like an unsafe medium for a second. MaxSama's playing really well.
I definitely flinched. Coming in for that drive rush. Gladius looking a little bit like Itabashi. Oh, the OD? Wow. No way.
That's not enough. And he is burned. Punk backs off to avoid his own burnout.
No, he tried to play footsie the low medium kick.
Nothing?
No punish. Or sorry, no finisher.
Right.
Whoa. No bait.
Great defense by MaxSama. Again. Oh, is that enough? Is that going to cut it? Oh, man, that extra vitality.
Raw.
Yeah, it's raw. And it's
You're dead.
CA. It's so much damage. It is enough. The extra life of Marisa was not enough to save MaxSama. So Punk, game 1.
Let's take a good look here, man. MaxSama has been so good with his offense thus far.
Yeah.
He's really throwing Punk in place. It hasn't really dawned on him that these side switches are the only times when he's really taking damage. And it's not even like by a lot of like errors, right? He hasn't made big errors at all, I think, in my opinion.
No, he's had great defense, great neutral. Yeah, honestly, it's been a great game.
Jesus.
Great stuff overall. And really good awareness in these corner juggles. Yeah, honestly. I have really liked it.
Damn.
Burnout, anything's going to do it. Yeah, jeez, what a round by MaxSama.
Another phenomenal start.
Not at all taking a bait right there.
Man, the phalanx mid-air gets clipped. Full conversion as well, and I love the use of armor again. Perfect parry. Mostly going to attack the drive gauge and get that positioning. Man, that was mid-air as well. That's so difficult. I think he might have mixed himself up. Max didn't know what side he was going to be on.
Okay. Well, I don't know if it was strictly necessary, but there you go. It's getting a little weird out there.
A little bit. You can see a little bit of the frustrations. Like Punk's is like, I don't even know who you are. Like, why are you making me play to this degree? You have been so sturdy, and it actually makes me upset.
Sturdy's a good way to put it, yeah, for MaxSama, but nevertheless, it is match point like Punk, despite getting a little funky at the end of that last round.
Sometimes you gotta boost your own confidence by any means necessary, even if it's at the expense of your opponent on a grand stage like this one. You saw movement as the option there. Max does get clipped. He's on frames.
Follow up, smart. Here's Punk. Gonna try to dump it all? Yes.
Oh, yes. And that's
so this is good, right? A lot of damage. It means he's probably a mix-up away from getting the kill. However, on the other side, if he gets tossed in the corner here, almost good night. So he doesn't even try to pressure.
Yeah, he's big chilling. Look at the amount of drive
Okay.
you get back. Oh, no!
One hit away from death. No!
Maybe it was a bait. Perhaps.
Could be.
It could have been an intentional drop.
Could be.
To get that meaty.
Punk is not easily going to give up this positioning right
This
here.
is death for Punk, by the way. If he, oh my god!
Oh, yeah. No, totally. If MaxSama gets the next hit, he's hoping to convince Punk to move away, to jump, to do something ill-advised. Nothing like that came. So MaxSama backs off. Plenty of time on the clock to get a hit.
Oh my god!
Big jumps. That is going to do it. And in the end, Punk is the one who takes it. I feel like MaxSama played great, but honestly, Punk was the one who did what he needed to do when he needed to do it, and he moved forward 2-0.
Yeah, there was already quite the mental sack being built up. I don't blame him for not being able to sense when the drive impact was coming. It was a little bit further away from the wall than we anticipated, but I think. But having that critical art still on deck, that was actually quite gutsy for Punk. It was actually a really, really big risk for him to take and throw out that drive impact because, again, Marisa, despite not having that much life left, still seeing that critical art down below could easily diminish the rest of Cammy's life gauge. But just looking at the way it's been, I feel like it's been very much so in the favor of MaxSama in the early parts of these rounds. And it wasn't until like Punk was really like pushed under pressure and also getting the side switches where he was actually able to excel. But man, kudos to MaxSama. This guy.
Totally. I really like what we saw right there. Even though it wasn't in the W, I'm hoping to see more of the player because I thought that was really good.
This kid is, listen, he's a full-grown man.
Yeah.
But he's younger than me. So this kid is phenomenal. I'm not going to lie, man. The way that he was navigating with Marisa in a very interesting matchup too, he is, I don't know, there's a lot of potential there just watching the way he was playing. I was very impressed. MaxSama, hope to see him out there a little bit more often. But Punk, he's the one that moves on to face off against Space Boy.
All right. Well, and we'll move on down to the final round 1, top 16 matchup. It's going to be NY Mando versus Xset Idom. Mando down here because he lost to Simple Tricks. He beat players including Fatality and Strife in moving into this position. Idom is down here because he lost to Paladin, who is sitting pretty in top 8 winners side. And then before that had to beat NYC Furby, and then after that had to beat Diaphone, so he's had a pretty tough set of matches for sure. You know, good stuff by him. As you all know, former Capcom Cup champ.
Who, this guy?
This guy. He was 4th in World Warrior. He was 6th in points before that. And for NY Mando, I didn't see that there were any entrances in World Warrior. Not a lot of big results that I could see, at least on StartGG. StartGG doesn't tell the whole story, of course, but tried to do a little bit of research and didn't see too much there. So I am very curious about what we're going to see. But I can tell you that it is going to be Zangief. I can also tell you this fact about himself. Up until 6 months ago, I was primarily an MMO player.
Interesting.
6 months.
So and he's already put it together with a character like Zangief. Like, again, we've talked about metas, we've talked about tier lists a bunch of times over. One thing is consistent that everybody agrees on: Zangief's struggling. Zangief's kind of struggling. But it's kind of weird to say that too because you have a competitor in Capcom Cup with the same character. So I'm actually kind of curious to see what it is about this character and also what it is about Mondo that has him here on the top 16. But if Idom thus far, this is kind of a tall order though. You're facing off against a Capcom Cup champion.
Right.
Ooh, that was a setup for a grab if I ever seen it.
You're right, Idom was not going to see that happen. Into, tried to confirm, no big deal. Idom is playing a very solid ground game at the moment.
Little sidebar here, David. I still can't believe you're not playing this game.
Which one?
Zangief, that's your boy.
I don't feel like he's for me, but thank you. I mean, historically he was my boy. I don't know if this is my guy.
I know. You switched off to Honda. Anyways, as you resume.
Mondo, his quote was, "I'm nervous. I don't participate in these events much." So I hope for his sake that we'll see somebody who has tightened it up. But right now it is Idom who really has control.
That's so tricky to try to contest against that. Even afterwards, Idom didn't commit to the cancel. Possibly the command damage. Level 3 incoming, more than enough damage. Absolutely, Idom's doing it perfect.
Yeah, Idom just, again, very, very strong control. He reacted well. I think you're right about the forward medium kick. Probably intended that as a grab setup by Mondo. Idom shut it down, and he shut it down pretty much all over the place. So for Mondo, what is the change? Ooh.
It's a very interesting interaction too. I think, we talked about this earlier in anticipation for Idom. Mondo doesn't necessarily have the strongest fixes in the TV show right now. I think overall it's been very hard for her to kind of close the gap. She has some really far-reaching single strikes,
yeah,
sure, but that can also get blown up pretty significantly.
Among the most DI-able buttons.
Right. But one thing is for certain, her jump arc is so annoying. In a great way. Jump roundhouse really reduces her arc to get close the gap in, but it hasn't really been the case for Idom. He hasn't really had to rely on anything like that thus far. It's been pure footsies.
Yeah, he jumped twice and he got anti-air, but he doesn't even need that, I think. He's back to mid-screen, playing it safely, playing it cautiously, maybe moving a little bit too far.
You think so?
I would say he's got a pixel of health advantage tomorrow. Okay, there it is.
Was that... I actually blinked at the moment of those lights being chained together. It had to have been Mondo maybe moving forward. I didn't see a counter hit, right?
Yeah.
But it was also a crouch animation. That's what bugged me out the most.
Ooh, defense by Idom. Here it is.
Protect from Mondo. The sweep is there. It's also very, very deceptive. That thing is mad fast.
He's looking a little bit more comfortable to me, is Mondo.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, he's at least moving around a little bit more. It's not exclusively about Idom having control, but that maybe is. Maybe is.
I don't know if it's enough damage against the big fella.
Okay, big fella. Hey.
The fuzzy setup.
Moves forward. Idom's quote was, "I built Super Heavy Samurai. I opened the 1,000-year door. I conjured spells to fight off my foes." And he did just that.
I don't know any of those references.
I don't know either. I thought they were cool, though. And he is in top 16, top 12 now is what he is qualified into. So
now I'm going to look at
one more round to go for these players, as you see up on the screen. Mondo, man, 6 months? You're already in top 16 of Street Fighter 6 CPT? That's sick.
That's a lot better than most people who've been playing
almost
for
everybody.
years.
Yeah,
I think it's
6
fair to say
months?
almost everybody. 6 months into it, Mondo, very promising future. Still, you had to face off against one of the best in the world, and that's totally understandable, but we would love to see that potential. Man, these last two players, MaxSama and Mondo, actually very, very promising future for both of these cats, seeing the way they are currently in the top 16, but would love to see them even more so in other weekly events. Alex Smith versus FluxWaveZ is what's coming up next. Also, it's going to be pretty important considering this is round 2 of the loser's side. 39-30.
Yeah, nice.
Doesn't even look it for either one of them. I'm not going to lie to you, man. I still feel like, man, I remember that interaction with FluxWaveZ from him landing into LA. Really, really nervous cat. Hasn't really been to LA prior to that, but he's really grown into a very, very prominent Street Fighter player.
Oh, yeah.
Alex Smith, I still remember my first couple of encounters with him in the beta.
Okay.
This guy is mad good. He's just the complete package, man. He is old school as hell, and he's really, really dope. So it's really cool to see the I guess the two different generations come at it again.
Yeah. I mean, he lost to Paladin, who we saw earlier. That's why he's down here in this position. Paladin making it into top 8 of winners side. So now it's on Alex Smith. Man, it feels bad to lose, to make it into top 16 winners and then to lose twice. That is a tough feeling. So for his sake, you're hoping that that's not going to happen. But however, FluxWaveZ, who was sent down earlier, I'm checking my notes, having lost to Alex Smith.
Did I write that down?
Which means that it is a run back.
I didn't get to write that down. I ran out of time. But I see. That's actually pretty...
it is a run back here.
Pretty
so
wild. I was just about to ask that. I feel like there was a little bit of like a couple of uncomfortable situations for Alex Smith running into the Ryu, and like I know for sure he's had like that practice early on. But to be fair, like Paladin has just been thinking outside of the box with his character. Yeah. It's so hard to even adapt to it. Even as commentators, we were thinking to ourselves like, man, Paladin has really shown off different looks on offense as well as defense for Ryu. So it was kind of like a tough draw, I feel like, for Alex Smith. There's nobody who's going to be able to replicate that no matter how hard you practice.
I understand, yeah.
But now you're going into a character that's like a dime a dozen as well.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
Going into JP, as strong as he is, there's at least a lot more data that you could figure out in terms of identifying sequences and how to defend or playing offense against it, right? Ooh.
Back to the range that FluxWaveZ wants. Okay.
Things have been coming up FluxWaveZ, I feel like, when it comes to some of these shadows hitting, right? It happened earlier against Adrian NY, running into a couple of those shadows.
It can be a volatile matchup for JP. Characters in general who have excellent movement. A little bit
Brother!
Wow.
This
okay,
guy is sneaky.
That was cool. That was cool. Movement doesn't matter if you get the corner, I guess. But that is part of the potential downfall of this. Keeping his eye on her forward movement, her corner pressure.
But who expects after an overhead landing? Who expects that drive?
No.
This is the sequence that Alex wants. We talked about the corner pressure. Dash up play again. We'll do one more time if you wanted to. But he's going to play it safe. Trusting intuition on that one.
Quite an answer.
What the? Departure on top.
A little bit too early.
Oh, that is huge. And that's level 2 as well. Attack on the drive move. You could probably set it up for it, but yeah, there it is. Do it again. Watch out for this throw. Ooh, that could have been a big punish counter for a possible burnout with FluxWaveZ. Give it a check.
Oh! No! Oh. Okay, key backwards jump and solving the forward pressure. FluxWaveZ, man, that was getting a little risky there.
I was about to say,
NuckleDu, is that you? And I'm glad it didn't turn out the way it did. You actually had just one more dab away before taking it down. Right back into it. FluxWaveZ does have the first game. Drive rush forward, touch medium, punch with the big counter hit opener to check Alex. I'd imagine Alex tried to preemptively stop that. He sees green, he's trying to press the button, he gets that. And now in this state of departure, plus the ghosts, it's hard to maneuver.
Love that jump timing.
Ooh, plenty of time to react to it. A very expensive way to do it though, but FluxWaveZ sets up the departure, double time, dash up twice.
Woo, that is sick. Is that enough?
Not enough.
No.
But it sets up nicely for the spike either way. I don't know if that would have... Oh, that was chip kill. Damn! That was a lot.
A lot, yeah, I'm with you. So match point now for FluxWaveZ. Smith's the first one to start it out.
Overhead's blocked. Still gets the pursuit afterwards. Break through. Good response to fire by FluxWaveZ. What?
Whoa, that was sick! Oh, that's a punish.
A little overzealous going in for a second
what a
time.
Reset. Oh, man, he is getting pretty wild here. I love this.
That's fair, though. I mean, FluxWaveZ, he hasn't really shown off that card. None of the JPs have, to be honest. Oof.
But when Alex has had big corner pressure, oh, good. He got a perfect with that after all. Those two will come out.
Too far? Level 2 is going to be a lot for us to deal with.
Definitely a tough spot. Back to mid-range. It was not really the right timing. This allows Alex Smith to get back in.
That's tricky. I love the invasive maneuvers, but not close enough. No way does he whiff that. FluxWaveZ, after that counter poke 2, I think it was a punish counter. It was just too far for the rest of the combo to hit. That's mad unfortunate. Great for Alex Smith.
Yeah.
There we go. A little bit earlier on the drive rush, crouching medium punch. Checking FluxWaveZ on his defensive decisions. Oh, jump out of there!
Back, though. It is a pretty natural reaction to hold up back, but man, it's tough. Oh, no.
You know what that was. Still with the pickup?
Just getting chip while he can. And getting a lot of chip. It's a bit about a quarter life, maybe a third life in chip.
Oh, and he gets a full-on punish as well. level 2, you're going to be eating a lot of this damage. Possibly aside from no, we're just going to go purely for the mix! It's the mix at the end! FluxWaveZ throwing in the overhead in a way that Alex Smith couldn't anticipate. That's actually a rough shot. 2-0, FluxWaveZ eliminating one of the legends, Alex Smith.
Again, that was a run back, as you mentioned earlier. So FluxWaveZ lost to Alex earlier. This time sends Alex out of the tournament. I really am always impressed watching FluxWaveZ play. I feel like he's got one of the most like grounded, stoic JPs. Like I just feel like he's got like a really good sense of when to stand his ground. I mean, we're looking at highlights that are him moving forward because that's when you find the big hits. But a lot of the time it's him doing that. Walking, patient, on reaction brings out this. That's a perfect example of how FluxWaveZ does play great Street Fighter 6.
I think he's definitely been on reaction a lot of the times, at least trying to figure out what his opponent's all about. But there's got to be like some sort of data prior to that, which is what led to him maybe playing this way. I haven't really been able to check all the other replays of him playing, but like playstyle-wise, I'd imagine there was a lot of activity coming in from like Alex Smith in the earlier sequences where he decided, you know what, I'm going to play a little bit more reactive in these next couple of games. But it paid off pretty damn well. 2-0, FluxWaveZ making sure that binder stays intact and getting all the notes in, adding a couple of pages. But now he gets to chill until tomorrow. Big congratulations. We have 3 more remaining players to get into top 8. We're not going to do it quite just yet, but man, look at this lineup. Psycho versus Kami, Spaceboy versus Punk, Ramos versus Idom. Whew! That's a lot to take in. But in the meantime, let's talk a little bit about Pacus. We talked about this for a while now, part of the Buckler's Bootcamp. A lot of the players that I've seen and follow along my timeline, they've been starting to get behind it as well. We're seeing Pacus characters kind of show up out of nowhere, and some that aren't even like available in Street Fighter 6. Like I've seen personally Super Yen open up a Balrog and M Bison. It's pretty neat that they have a lot of hidden characters still in this game. Look at the Ryu. That's all go Ryu. If you want to take a break from the game, be sure to head over to Buckler's Bootcamp where you can play Pacus. It's a mini game in which you develop your character by training these cute dot characters. The service is based on the motto praise and develop, which is the intention of Buckler's president. I don't know who that is quite yet, but feel free to register as a member and get involved with all the other players that have been playing this little mini game. A very, very cute mini game. That's a good Ryu. It's a really good boy.
Look at him. He's a little cute guy. And you can give him food. It's one of the things he needs. He needs food. But so does everybody else.
Don't we all?
Everybody needs food, in fact. Thanks very much to Chipotle for joining hands with Capcom during this first year of Street Fighter 6. For a limited time only, the carne asada's right there. Look at that. Come on. Look at that. Tender cuts of steak with lime, cilantro, and signature spices. Come on. I'm a Sofritas boy. I've been telling you that. You guys know that. Jeremy, carne asada boy?
While it's up, yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? It's an upgraded steak.
That's
literally what it is. It's an
I'll
upgraded
take one
steak.
upgraded steak, please.
Yeah, man.
Carne asada back on the grill for a limited time. Again, thanks so much to Chipotle. So we're going to take another break. We have 3 matches remaining to decide who will get into top 8. Again, those matches include Psycho versus Kami, and then Spaceboy versus Punk, and Ramos versus Idom. The question is whether Idom makes it, Punk makes it. Man, can you imagine?
I cannot. whatever you're going to say.
If top 8 does not include Idom or Punk, it's a possibility. We'll see if that happens. Coming right back.
Chipotle's carne asada is back. It's our most tender cuts of steak, grilled and seasoned with cumin, oregano, and coriander. Finished with fresh lime and hand-chopped cilantro. Carne asada. This is our best steak ever.
Let's get this mission started.
NuckleDu is your Capcom Pro Tour. He is your 2018 champion.
We got more Street Fighter League. I know you can smell the tension in the air. We back in the field, back. We ready, it's time. Ooh, punish counter. Out of the huddle, you know that I grind. A dangerous smile, a weapon of choice from preaching a lie.
Season after season, it's only gotten better.
Big Bird in trouble.
My game is number one. Bet it all, give me my cash. So pink game can't stop it. Take off like a rocket. Bring it back, don't bend mine. I'm the one now, you can't hide.
What an upset. What an upset.
Fight with all your heart.
This is our moment.
Nobody saw this happening. I dare you to find me better Street Fighter.
It's time to rise. This is our moment.
unprecedented and unpredictable. It only gets better.
All or nothing! Straight to the door!
This is a different Chris CCH. I don't know who this young man is.
Time to play. The time is now. No other option. No other way. Play to win the way that we play.
My man looks so happy.
Making away, it's time to reign.
Angry Bird's momentum, his speed in general is so hard to keep up.
Into the bottom, ain't nothing to fear. We running the game.
Meta RD taking it down defensively and get the biggest sprint that we've seen thus far.
This is the hardest season of Street Fighter League ever.
History in the making.
This is our moment. Yeah, this is our time.
This kid is ridiculous. This kid is ridiculous.
This is our moment. This is our time.
He gives a kiss to the audience. I love that.
Who is this thing? Full fight.
Execute. This is my moment. Coming for it all, just show me my opponent. Wanna be great, I'm a legend in the making. And this is mine for the taking.
Cause I got what it takes to be on top. I'm #1 cause I don't stop.
Hard gas, no brakes, high stakes. I don't act tough till the tussle let them fall ya. Non-stop, you ready or not? When it's all said and done, I'ma be on the top. 3, 2, 1. I'm ahead of the game, they'll remember my name.
I am extremely excited right now because we have one of my former training partners for years, actually, and one of the, I would say to some people, hidden gems of the NA fighting game community, none other than Space Boy. What's up with you, man?
Hey, how you guys doing? Happy to be here on No Neutral, since I play No Neutral usually.
Oh, you are downplaying yourself. Listen, despite what myself and many others have said in the past, you definitely play some neutral, even though you have a bit more of an explosive, aggressive, and sometimes a little risky style. How has your approach been with Street Fighter 6 so far? And you're playing Luke right now in Street Fighter 6. You picked up Luke at the end of Street Fighter 5. Is the game like really different for you? Do you have a different approach? And how has that been playing this game?
I think the most difficult thing about 6 is it's very much a player game. So Street Fighter 5 was very static. Once you learned a matchup, sure, there's maybe let's just say like a Mental style birdie or a Magnegro style birdie. But 6 is a very player-to-player game, so I haven't been studying matchups as much as I've just been watching as much as I can and playing as much as I can. The game's really fun, despite what's going on. Like, I don't really like dry rush. I love dry rushing. I don't like dealing with it. But I just feel that right now I don't want to have any definite training regimen since I don't really understand the game.
Okay, and in these interviews too, man, I like to learn something like personal about the people too. So I know that you're in school and everything. Let the people know like what's going on with that, and what are you even in school for?
I'm in school for IT. I graduate this May. I barely passed. I've been playing so much. I've just been busy in general. But hey, passing, C's get degrees, and I've been playing pretty good this season. So I got to have the best of both worlds in that sense. I got to play really good Season 1 of Street Fighter 6, and I'm still on set to get my degree. I will be entering the workforce. I don't want to be crashing in my parents' home, so it's kind of tough. I don't know if I'm going to take a year off just to play some more, or if I'm just going to save up and get my own place and then play. But I will be playing a lot of Street Fighter.
Hey, listen, life comes at you fast. You don't know. You might win this weekend, and suddenly you find yourself with $1 million sitting in your lap, and your perspective might change. That graduation date might start looking way off. So don't count yourself out on that front.
Space Boy, I just want to say thanks for all of the years of training that we put in throughout Street Fighter 5 and everything, and I'm glad to see you still cooking people up in Street Fighter 6, bro. One of the most genuine and solid dudes in the NAFGC, and good luck to you in NA East, bro.
Well, Space Boy is still in it, still has the chance to make top 8 and then to get into Capcom Cup. But so do the remaining competitors who we have here, as we are in our last 3 matches of the top 16 here for US, Canada, East. Ultra David, Vicious back with you. We're going to be heading in to Psycho versus Cammy at first. I'll show you the bracket.
Man, you're going to hit me with the Cammy? It's Kami, baby. Psycho versus Kami. So this is going to be very interesting, right? We talked about
what kind of Kami are we talking about?
The one that's currently in the top 16, David. So we've seen his very, very high-level defense. It's already being praised all across Twitter from Kami. Now, we got to preface this with Psycho and Kimberly, right? We talked about the different layers of offense that Kimberly has inherently. I think it's really, really neat to see anything coming off the spray can, anything in the corner. But we didn't really get to see that from Psycho in his performance against Naji. Now, it's going to be a whole different story. Like, he has to maybe close the gap against Luke and possibly get those mix-ups going. But I want to see what Kami does to kind of rebuttal that. I want to see more defense, essentially what I'm saying from Kami.
It is really, really fun to watch defense. I super agree. Just seeing somebody block and be correct about defense for like long stretches, or to do that yourself, for me is more interesting in some ways than seeing somebody like have a sick mix-up. Like, I don't know, the mix-up is planned. It's like prepared. Like, you have like the thing that you do.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're the defender, you don't know what's coming next. You are making reads. It's a hard position to be in. So to make that many correct reads in a row, it's just always impressive to me. So shout out to him for that. But as Psycho comes in here, he's got a very strong Kimberly.
I didn't realize that this version of Luke still has like the braces. Imagine being an MMA fighter with braces. That's terrifying. Anyways, there's the mix already coming through. Psycho being able to play a lot more offense right out the gate.
Yeah. I mean, if you can get pressure, get knockdowns, she has the kind of offense that I feel like, even if you're great defensively, it is hard to block her consistently. She's got a lot of stuff on. That's a great situation.
I like the defensive choice of just using the OD bust out, OD uppercut. Just hinder Psycho right then and there. Especially after that very tricky slight mix-up of the delayed Tatsu there.
Yeah, it can be plus. It's a pretty cool setup.
I'm not even trying to guess that. I think the most it could be is maybe like +2. You know, it's a very violent name for that move, the torso splitter.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Cool.
She's aiming for your chin so that it splits your torso. Oh my God, that right there should be the torso.
I know.
Right there, if you're asking me. But no, it's the eraser. This is good.
Also good. That was coast to coast. Okay. Psycho builds his way out of it.
Jesus, a little bit of a stutter step
again, though, that was Kami just holding on, not pressing a button. Taking a lot of turns here, Psycho. Forcing a lot of plus frames. Yeah, Kami down there.
If Kami gets a single opening into a drive rush combo, it could potentially spell death, at least with the level 2 and the sharp angle. And there's the mix! You can't block forever. Psycho making a huge statement off of that anti-air. That is everything, because you get that cancel, you get that run cancel off of that. Pretty significant to set up your left-right mix.
Super good idea by Psycho. Okay. Again, even if you have great defense, it's just hard to block against her consistently. Kami's in. I would imagine he spends here. Yes.
You kind of have to. You want to get that drive gauge going.
For sure. A lot of damage to start.
Do you walk up and check? Fierce. Sights that are set forward.
They're both like just outside of each other's ranges. Excellent spacing by both players. They can both turn it on right away. Does he keep it up? Yes. Hey, you better kill. You better kill.
You can't.
Uh-oh.
I don't think that's too bad for Kami. Look at this space behind him, right? He gets to hold block as much as he wants to, if he can keep up, that is. There's going to be a lot of tricky mix-ups coming in from Psycho.
Again. With punish. No.
Right back in the game.
Jump. Oh, man. There it is.
It's so tricky still.
No cameras there, but there it is.
Fine. The uppercut. Had Psycho done maybe, I swear to God, if he had thrown down the elbow to bait out, man, that would have been an entirely different story. But Kami still having the audacity to come in with an uppercut. Hit, yeah, full conversion. That's a lot of extra plus. Jump on the other side. And I like that Kami was just trying to pursue like a side pitch again, immediately jumping to the sky for Psycho. The throw mix now. No bait from Kami.
Ooh.
Interesting. Even after the spray can setup, the teleport setup, Psycho wasn't able to dish out as much damage as he wanted to.
He's doing a great job of it right now. Kami, the way he finds his way out, very interesting that he just drive rush in.
Whoa. No way!
Kami's right!
Psycho went for the mix. And in a spot where I think he could have done enough damage to let a level 3 rip. I don't know, man. Look at how much damage, or look at how much life Kami had left.
I guess if you think about it, if that had hit, you know, you link it into crouching jab super, basically. Like, you get the kill.
Necessary, like, do you think he could have killed without it?
I don't think he could have killed without it.
Really good stuff, huh? I feel like maybe he could. That's hard. Really hard to call out, but man, what a risk to take. Hunter not paying off. The Kami tried to press the button afterwards. A delayed tech. A little bit of the defensive decisions being shown from Kami now. Not just willing to just take those blocks. Lucian regular. Lucian some blue jump.
Oh, cute.
Interesting is that like some of the big hits that that Psycho has doesn't lead to any sort of mix-up yet. He hasn't spent that bar really to make it. Oh, that's very sneaky. Level 2. You know, I think that's fine. The damage is there. Not even close enough for a meaty. Still have your drive gauge back.
Yeah, it's strike throw for the kill.
I'm sorry. No, actually, it's not.
No anti-air, but again, his excellent defense comes into play. Hey, and he's the one who gets the mix if it's match point.
The mix was normal block back.
Yeah.
And it's difficult, man. I mean, Luke's still within that range to get some of these throws going, but mid-range, I don't think you have to fear it as much. It is guess for game, though, to be fair. Yeah. Throw. The backdash does get clipped, but it's actually not going to lead to a lot of damage. I feel like that's been the highlight of Psycho's performance thus far, at least against Kami. Some of these big hits have not really been as intimidating to force any big errors from Kami. What are you going to do about this?
Oh,
what an interruption.
That
Great
was
check.
sick. A little too early, but that's okay for him. Uh-oh.
Defensive throw is what it was.
Ah, he was right. He was right. Okay. And with 3 bars, Psycho's coming into this in an okay position.
Oh, that's tricky.
Unusual stuff.
For the damage output.
Kami's style's so interesting. It's so unique. He hasn't really been super heavy on pressure. It's been about his defense. However, we got to see if it holds up here.
A little bit of a funky occurrence. He actually had dashed up into the jump roundhouse from Psycho on the way in. It's going to be pretty significant. He does have that buff going. Jesus to play raw? No, that was actually off of a cancel. What was that? I've never seen him drop like that.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, boy.
Come on.
He's hunting for it yet again.
He tried to press a button to counter it. It's all the attempt at a check. Psycho does have enough life. But again, another counter hit opportunity. Yeah. Not making the most of these drive rushes, and that's fine. Yeah, just dropping on top of the noggin. Crouching, sorry. Elbow drop in the air. Kami not really able to like react appropriately. Crouching heavy punch does kind of stuff that out, but you have to really see it.
I think it's different timing, I would imagine.
Yeah, you have to be mad early. Gotta study harder. Back to back, 3 in a row. Trying to go for a 4th. That was moving as an option from Kami. Defense again, trying to get out of the situation.
This is exactly what a Kimberly wants. Well, okay, caught it. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Oh, he's trying to end it.
As he should, man. I mean, wouldn't that's both players?
He overtook it slightly, but wow, again caught it, and so now it's match point Psycho. Big switch.
Ooh. I feel like it could have led to a lot more. Kami still just trying to react to the spray can. Actually, the teleport. Second time I said that. The teleport could be a little bit of a problem, I feel like. For Kami. Side switch? No, doesn't need it. He's going for the advantage. That trade is everything, I feel like, for Psycho to get himself going. Also, to close the gap. Well. Oh, that's punish
far,
counter.
and Kami takes advantage.
Yeah,
he killed.
Yeah.
So it will be now match point for both. More resources on the left, but man, still.
It's going to take a lot for... I feel like with the way that Psycho's been playing offense, it's going to take a lot to really get a conversion into the level 3. Right? We have seen a couple of drops. We've seen a lot of reset attempts from Psycho. So if we could land at least one solid combo into level 3, that'll spell a huge difference. Again, going for a final fight chain that doesn't lead into a level 3 cancel.
Right. I mean, although he's found tons of hits, very few of them have been to big damage.
What? I thought it was going to be on the other side. We've seen that option to parry again from Kami. OD uppercut, preventing the mix from even happening.
Okay, in. Forcing burnout. It's a good decision.
What do you do after that in pursuit?
How do you approach Kami? Kami just feels very confident.
That was tricky. What a block!
Nice! Set it up.
That
Back
decision,
off.
I can understand.
Oh boy!
Dash up.
Oh boy! Really?
He delayed the crouch jab. No way! Kami getting away with it all. Level 1, more than enough. Psycho letting it slip from his hands. No way! No way he held on to that meter. I totally understand like why he would do it from the very beginning. It's like just in case it doesn't kill, you have some meter for yourself to play defense. But you let Luke live, brother. Kami with the composure and the execution for the rest of his combos.
If you look at some stat, say there's some stat like number of times that you hit the opponent versus like how much damage you deal, it is such a huge swing for both of these players. Psycho found so many hits. He got so many individual hits.
He did.
So many.
But it didn't lead to
very rarely was it into big damage.
Setup.
Right. I mean, sometimes for Kim that is the case, right? There's certainly some conversions where she just doesn't deal big damage, but there were also some moments where he could have had bigger damage but went for a reset.
Yeah.
There were some situations where he dropped stuff. And for Kami, it's not like he found like a ton of hits. He wasn't constantly getting the big hits, but when he found a hit, it always mattered. Here's an example.
Yeah, one of the biggest things that we've seen from Psycho, when he decides to use his drive gauge, it's for an opportunity of for a mix, but it's more often than not played out in Kami's favor. Then it goes right back into this type of sequencing where we're just kind of waiting for Kami's big explosive moment. Psycho kind of reluctant to even spend the drive gauge for anything other than a mix. Like, the damage is there. When you get the opening, you might as well spend it. Like, if you're going to put yourself in burnout, so be it. At least it gets you that level 3 opportunity, at least a knockdown to set up for Genius at play, and a mix off of that. I'd much rather force an opponent to guess the spray can setup because how it blocks the graphics from, or at least blocks the character from at least like figuring out what to block with. It's so interesting to see like Psycho not willing to spend that meter with such an aggressive character.
That was the choice. And unfortunately for him, it doesn't end up working out. So he's the one who sent Punk down to losers, but he will not have moved on into top 8 himself. FluxWaveZ versus Kami will be tomorrow. And now our last 2 matches of the day. We're going to start out with Space Boy versus Punk. As I just mentioned, Punk is down here because Psycho, his former roommate, beat him using his own 3rd place bronze Evo Victrix. And look, you could see in the interview, I hope you all watched during the breaks as well, because we have great interviews that Rob has done with a bunch of these players, Rob, Brian, etc. have done with these players. It was heartwarming, interesting. You feel for him a bit to see Punk tear up, talking about how he could give his family a house if he wins the million. I mean, it is not just about playing and doing your best in video games. Some of the players, when it becomes a realistic possibility, if you really have the chance to win $1 million, right? We all would love to win it, right? Sort of in the sense of like, yeah, I would like to, but is that a possibility for you, practically speaking? For Punk, it certainly is. And so that feels closer for him than it may for many other players. You could really see that in his expression there in that interview with Rob. So there's a lot on the line for him here as he's in losers. But look, Spaceboy is a very strong competitor. It's not going to be an easy one for him to get through. Spaceboy is going to, as he has in the past, show that he has a lot to say. He can certainly make the top 8 and deny thereby Punk from getting into top 8. We'll see.
On top of juggling whatever it is that he's been doing.
Yeah, busy guy,
in real life, right? Like he's talking about C's gets degrees. Like he's doing the full-time thing of balancing school, balancing work, and also balancing Street Fighter 6, right? We totally understand the different pressures that people are put into in these circumstances. So it's a lot on the line for both players. Right? Spaceboy with a loop, very impressive. Already aggressive start, getting the throw against Punk. And it's totally understandable. In that sequence, if you cancel a low medium kick and you drive rush forward, in order for it to be a true block string, you have to go in with the light. Punk will definitely go through that with an uppercut if he gets that opportunity. So good on Spaceboy to make that happen for him.
Okay. Punk with a bit of an offbeat dive kick.
What a stop! Like, how often do we see that from Punk? That standing jab. And that's going to be more than enough. He gets to cancel one more time if he needs to. But no, he goes for the target combo. I don't know about that.
Okay, it ends up. Yeah, that said, thinking back to the last match that we saw, Punk versus MaxSama, we were both impressed by MaxSama, and Punk did have some drops, some funky decisions in there. Hopefully for his sake, he tightens it up. The Spaceboy, what a great decision.
That was disgusting.
That was so
high up,
good.
And I like that decision to throw as well. Knocking on the door a little bit. You saw the late stagger on the jab, and now staggering with other normals as well. That multimedia touches everything, but that punish counter even bigger. You spend it, absolutely you do. But look at this. It's not going to lead to death just yet. The drive gauge, I feel like it's not going to be a huge factor as much. But it's this very moment where you get to stutter step forward. No, drive rush, and it's the shimmy. It was a scary movie. You blink and you miss it and you die. It's crazy. Spaceboy driving up on the drive-by flash.
Good whiff punish by Punk, keeping his eyes open as always. Always the reactions are there. Oh, nice. Didn't just be content with the grab.
I think either way is fine. Either corner switch or at least reset back to the mid-screen. Uppercut, full control. Now for Spaceboy, back throw. Now gets the drive rush forward again. Overhead is there. Punk, not ready for it.
Oh man, Spaceboy is right up close. Again, Punk with the kind of funky timing on the dive kick though.
We talked about offbeat, man. It's been on for thus far. That's a perfect parry.
Do you think he can kill? He can kill.
Yeah.
Level 2's there.
Dash up, level 2. I think that might be enough damage.
It's obviously heavily scaled, but is that enough? Last hit, yes.
Sheesh. You know, that's really tough too. Imagine if Punk had survived that, get a little bit of drive gauge left in him, and a fireball wouldn't chip out of that range. Or at least it would have put him into burnout at that range. On top of having a critical art, would have been nuts. What is happening? This guy's flying all over the place already. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
We saw the same interaction previously where it was a whiff grab as like the attempt. A little funky timing. Spaceboy looking confident in neutral. Yes, walks into exactly the right spot.
Knuckle. Looking at the medium punch. Now it's going to be Punk's turn. Holds the uppercut. Big punish. And we realize the names haven't been switched yet. Spaceboy and it is to be Punk, by the way.
Oh, got it. No. Well, it all works out. It all works out for Punk. Should be able to take the round. Again, we have seen a little bit of funkiness from him, but this time it looks okay.
Nice finish, nice switch over. I see you. But a couple of sneaky movements behind that giant impact make it a little bit harder to tell when it's coming out.
Yeah, she just kind of spins in like a bunch of her moves. You know?
I hate it. I can't keep track of it all. So we finally get that right conversion forward throw. Immediately afterwards, the drive rush.
Oh, again! Oh, man, I love that solution. And Space Boy backing off, right back in. He's playing with his spacing so well. Excellent tech, actually, because that forward and back movement is funky.
And what a punish counter. Good patience from Punk. He was waiting so long to get out of that corner, and it paid off tenfold, especially getting the punish counter. But this is even bigger. Space Boy. Beast Mode baby again.
No okay, he could have killed.
Level 3 for sure. Oh, what? So that's one thing that check Punk's reaction. Getting away with a dash, that's one. Then backing up immediately for the back dash to get the punish counter on the throw, that is another thing. Yes, he could have done that the last time. Punk had gone for the neutral jump as a contention point, as a counter against that tactic.
It felt to me like Space Boy was hunting for Punk right there, as if he thought that he could get the kill very closely, as if he thinks that Punk is worried. Yeah, I think that's the reason I'm getting right now about Space Boy's play. He feels like this is the time to get the kill. Yeah, he's going in!
Huh.
A lot on the line for Punk right here.
No way! A little overzealous on the mark, too. Punk is able to get a really, really significant punish counter. This is going to be a lot of damage. Obviously, the burnout is there, but Punk, with this much drive gauge left in the tank, while your opponent's at 0, you definitely can get a drive impact wall splash. Yep, and he's already moving. He's schmoving. Yep, that's the one. Woo.
All right, buddy.
Woo.
Jeez.
He was looking at the endpoints to finish the
He like went to the start screen to see what the fatality inputs are.
Perhaps, yeah. Cam is the only character I feel like that can do that animation-wise.
Yeah, she kind of does that
so,
with the fatality. Man, look, again, there's a lot on the line for Punk, and I understand why Space Boy felt like that was the round to get the kill, but now that that didn't happen, the question is, what does he change about his gameplay?
Oh, interesting tidbit there. Crouching jab, counter hit into the perfect flash. Oh, that's huge. Oh! With an even bigger drop from Punk. What is happening?
It's not the first time that we've seen a big drop from him in his top 16s. I don't know, the 4th or 5th time, to be honest.
Oh. This counter is there, and also within range is the Fierce. I thought it was going to whip from that range, but no, sir. No level 1 usage. He maybe thought it wasn't going to kill.
Maybe.
You sneak in the guy for attempt 2, and it's not far enough! There it is! No way! He did it again! Fireball and uppercut to ensure the damage on that bad throw. Space Boy looking at match point with a lot of, actually both characters sitting at pretty much equal in super gauge.
Punk saw that there were some more whips coming out. Space Boy shut it down immediately. Does not want to allow Punk to get these reads about what to do in neutral.
And now trying to get the throw baits again against Punk. Yeah, he himself back into the corner.
Forces this.
3 in a row.
Again there. Again. Fully burned. What a jump by Punk. Will he spend it all? Yes.
He absolutely has to. Equalize the playing field, the damage is there, the burnout is there as well. He's going to get his drive gauge before Space Boy does, but it's just a matter of what he decides to do on offense dash up, and he's pretty aggressive with it. No way! Heavy to level 3. Now he gets to change the swing. The damage is definitely in Space Boy's favor. You're going to get a meaty setup, and you might get that drive gauge before Punk. With 0 bars, you could get a checkmate. No way!
Does Space Boy eliminate Punk? Punk's still in. Oh, jumps away. All the decisions are so key right now. Anything will do it. He finds it. Can he get the kill? It's a little funky looking, but that's okay. And it is match point now for both.
I swear to you, if he did Eraser, the back heavy punch from Luke, as the low 4 was coming out, I would have yelled like a madman. It would have been all goofy.
One of them on the top A loser's side. Punk's the one who starts the offense this time. That has been rare throughout the set. He hasn't typically been the person who's done it. As he is back again to hanging out a little bit patiently, maybe hoping to see Space Boy overextend, but Space Boy is just walking around. He's not giving into that urge yet.
He's given a couple of looks with a Sandblast, and surprisingly we haven't seen really any spin knuckle attempts, but it's been very difficult to call. This is a very fast fireball, by the way, so even trying to use that as a tactic is kind of tough.
Punk took his turn immediately. Here's Space Boy. He has fought all the way to the corner. Not quite! As Punk is the one who finds the big hit, and now with a substantial life lead.
But that burnout is Getting pretty close. Punk is backing away. No uppercut!
I can't believe it. He has been so consistent with anti-airs.
Speedy as heck, but not going to reach any sort of advantage.
Big jump. It's not
Again.
for a hit. Another chance. And again, Punk, as he has often been, is not the one to immediately engage on offense. He's back to neutral. Hoping to see a whip punish.
Oh, that's huge.
Okay.
It's the back though as well. Punk gets a lot of estate behind him to move away from Space Boy. Space Boy's got to be explosive, but he's got to be now. But OD, Punk knew it actually. Oh my God! Punish counter conversion off of that.
15 on the clock, and it's enough as Punk finds it with jump. Roundhouse, no delay in the sky. There was not a dive kick coming. Space Boy tried to get the jump back to contend with that. Instead, jump earliest roundhouse from Punk keeps him in the running for first place here at US Canada CPT.
I think it's safe to assume what was on Space Boy's mental stack at the moment. How often did you see these jumps go unpunished? Right? You had mentioned and highlighted a very significant fact about this early part. You see in the replays how offbeat some of Punk's dive kicks were and how much success he's had off of it. Then you start to see Space Boy get those big punishes off of it, right? So I think, more often than not, he's looking for the dive kicks too much to punish it on the ground rather than mid-air. So again, that's some pretty important moments for Space Boy, allowing Punk to fly off like that. And at the same time, though, the rebuttal from Punk has been superb. Good awareness too, good spatial awareness, good game sense to even attempt for that sequence while having that drive gauge was huge, and also good game sense to even anticipate that flash knuckle coming in from Space Boy.
Yeah, denied the easy pressure, but man,
see what I'm saying?
It was right down to the line there for both. It will be Punk. So Punk's in there. All right, one match remains. Idom has been fighting his way through loser's side for a while now. He was sent down there by Paladin before the top 16. And for Ramos is in the unfortunate position of having been at the top side of the bracket on winner's side and then having lost. And that means you got to wait the maximum amount of time for it to be your turn to play yet again. And now he's going to get that chance. We both liked some of what his Modern Chun did versus NuckleDu Guile. Obviously it wasn't enough, but he did have some strong stuff in there. And, by the way, I looked up his Street Fighter Cross Tekken Capcom Cup appearance where he played Vega Kami.
That's a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, old friend of mine, had actually utilized that team. It's a very, really, really cheap team. His name is Mike, but that's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
That's a pretty impressive thing to do, to make it all the way to Capcom Cup in that regard.
I mean, regardless of what game it is.
Consistently, keeping it up with whatever life throws at you, right? That's been, I feel like, the main story for a lot of the East Coast players, right? There's been so many busy times and busy lives for some of these folks, but seeing Ramos again in a tough draw, being the first one to fall in a top 16, that means you have so much time to think about what's coming up next.
Whole broadcast.
Do I play ranked? Do I sit in trade mode? Do I grab some carne asada?
You don't know who you're going to play against for a while either, right? It's not like you can necessarily game plan for who your opponent's going to be for a while.
You have some sort of route that you could possibly
That's
predict.
true. It's going to be one of two or three. That's or whatever it is. Yeah. No, that's true.
But at the same time, it's Idom. How do you prepare for Idom?
How
do you prepare for Mondo?
Not easy. And especially for his style and his quality of Mondo, it's just rare to see. So one of them will make the top 8. Man, if it's Idom, that means the first round of top 8 is going to be Punk versus Idom and loser's side.
If there's one attribute that Idom has to really attest to his gameplay, what attribute would that be?
I think his reads just in my opinion. It's just extremely difficult to know where he's going next. And that's true not just in the obvious, does he do command grab or hit, that kind of easy stuff, but it's also what he does in neutral. It's so hard to get a read on the buttons he's going to pick. I feel like that's part of why he makes Mono work when it comes to her footsies, which are DI-able and not the super best in the game, but he makes them work because you just don't know when any of them is coming.
I think it's really kind of suspect, but man, what a usage of the lightning legs. I think I was just very fortunate for Ramos, just at the right place at the right time to anticipate something from Idom, whether it's a regular grab or command grab at that. Ramos just having the right instincts to do instant air lightning legs. Thank you, Mario. Oh, that's huge. That's a big opening. And that's something that Idom is not reluctant to use, something that's really, really unsafe, but it's a great poking tool for Mondo.
You have to take risks with her. That is the name of the game. Maybe able to get a medal. Okay.
It's taking risks.
Yeah.
We'll take that from Ramos.
What? Okay. Idom, of course, capitalizes on that. 3 medals.
I can't pretend to tell you. I don't even know what that could
What was
have
the
been.
idea? Yeah. Big
That is a
jump.
huge jump.
And probably for the round if he wants it. Yep.
Number 1, more than enough. Now, we talked about that jump arc could be a pretty big nuisance. She does pretty well, I feel like, in that regard against Fireball characters, being able to react and jump appropriately and get the punish counters. That jump arc is very, very menacing. It's sharp. Her roundhouse makes it even faster.
That was cool.
Never seen that stutter before.
Hey. Makes it count with level 3 on deck. Oh, okay. Coming on now. Oh, let's see what he can get. Idom. Waking up in the corner.
The sweep again.
Willing to take the risk.
Buried
it.
Damn. And an appropriate punish counter. This guy, Ramos, is sick.
That was really good, the parry, yeah.
And that's a guess. That is a pure guess, by the way.
Not surprised to see the command grab there after what would have been a successful command grab if he had read that parry coming. We'll see. Ramos backs off a little
What
bit.
a whiff punish and what a heavy normal to do it with. Jesus.
Just has such unusually strong footsies with the character. Like, you feel like she's a wall moving forward against you when it's Idom playing in a way that few other players can make work with her.
He gets Idom off of Ramos in the corner. It's going to be pretty huge with that side switch as well. So much estate for Chun-Li to work with. He's able to charge back and forth, get some fireballs going. And he can be very deceptive as to what her range of attacks is going to be. That medium punch has gotten him so much in the past. And also low forward can be a really, really big game changer against Idom, especially at this stage of the game at least.
Yeah,
trying to find the big opener.
Ramos backs off. No, tries to go in.
No
Immediately
way.
read by Idom.
And how often do you even see that from Ramos's repertoire? We haven't really seen drive reversals, let alone in this stage of the game. We don't really get to see it that much. But Idom having the appropriate read. The full
Really
punish.
nice confirm, in fact.
Ooh.
Ooh, huge jump. Yeah.
That's all she wrote.
That is all she wrote. Nobody's singing right now, but that's going to cut it anyways. We're going to go into the final game between the two.
Bottom meter down below just shows you that Idom did not give any chances for Ramos. And I will say this, I think a couple of fortunate circumstances were a part of Idom's round, right? Like the preemptive jump against the fireball face. I don't think it was on reaction. There's the drive reversal, does find the mark at a very hefty price, I will say.
Dude,
how does
okay.
he know? What a beast.
Looking good. Oh, man. That was right on the edge.
Oh, very tricky. At a level 3. Another counter hit stand jab from Ramos. Really picking and choosing his spots to press a button, but instead misses his opportunity for a meaty. Wasn't this the last time we've seen him kind of like fall short was against NuckleDu, where he wasn't really able to get some of these meaties going?
Yeah, his media pressure wasn't very strong, and he allowed for Du to wake up with buttons quite a number of times. Again, the neutral's looking good. He's got a chance for pressure. Tried it out. Oh, here it is. Forcing the situation more.
Nailed it.
Backing off, trying to be outside of that roundhouse range.
Oh.
Okay. Again, I don't feel like he needs to do it sometimes. I totally understand.
Oh, plenty of time for him to react. With a normal behind it, yes sir. Ramos
man.
and Idom both fully loaded, by the way. Level 3s on both ends, and also match point for both players now. Big whiff punish. Ramos thought he could get the handshake. No sir. Instead, he gets a trip to the corner.
Buried it into the corner right away. Ramos. Again, the meaty pressure is light, and again he challenges correctly defensively.
So sick.
There have been so many right choices defensively and in neutral. It's just the meaty pressure that hasn't really lived up to the rest. Slight lead, more of a lead now for Ramos, who, if he gets the next couple mix-ups right, is going to eliminate Idom. Idom's challenging.
The driving reversal again. Fireball to back to it. To back it up, excuse me. Fireball does find a mark again. Idom, he's only a sequence away from falling.
Jump! Idom on the ropes! Is he right? Yes!
Over 2. No command grab. Oh, he gave it away! He blocked it! Idom is eliminated by Ramos! 2 big mishaps back to back! And it's Idom who pays the ultimate price! Ramos eliminates Idom 2-1. What is happening?
What a scramble at the
What
end.
actually happened?
That whole final round right there. I mean, a lot of it led up to that. You know, these great defensive choices that Ramos had, I'm sure inspired him to think that he was always going to make the right defensive decision, hence the EX wake up right at the end. I think that makes sense, but Idom had the right read and just didn't get the kill.
I'm still flabbergasted at what that sequence was. Wasn't he in Burnout? Wasn't Idom in Burnout?
I don't remember, man. We'll see it shortly.
Whew, what just happened, yo? Yo, I gotta really take the time to shout out Ramos's defensive decision making.
Yes.
That is, he was playing like above and beyond 100% threshold. He was making all the right decisions. We talk about the reads that Idom had. Let's talk about Ramos for a second.
Right.
His decision making behind those medium kick startups from Idom has been phenomenal. What he does afterwards, what he does in between, it's all been the right call. And his drive reversals have been stupendous after that one mishap. It was just literally one mishap.
All right, what happened? He just screwed it up, right? Yeah. Well,
I can't tell you. I can't even imagine to tell you what that was. He had no meter behind it. There was nothing left behind it. He was burnt out.
That is a tough way to go out for Idom. Again, eliminated from the CPT US Canada East. There is but one chance remaining to make it into Capcom Cup, and that's at the LCQ, where there will be a host of killers, unlike anything else that we've seen this year. That's going to be a tough one. It's Ramos who makes it into the top 8.
How often have we seen that scenario happen between, okay, well, not the gameplay, but like having the person who had fallen short from the top? I feel like these last couple of CPTs, the person who had fallen short in the very first round has not really made it out into top 8.
It's rare. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I've noticed the same thing. And I think part of that is that it is a difficult position to be in to kind of, you know, you're playing at the start, then you have this, honestly, 2 hour plus time where you are iced a little bit, and Ramos nevertheless played it well. All right, well, geez. Looking like pretty good stuff here, as we'll talk about our top 8 in a little bit. This is the second to last of the Capcom Cup qualifiers. Check it out. Next week, US, Canada, Midwest. Registration, open for that still, but we'll be closing shortly. And then after that, as I mentioned, your very last chance to get into the Capcom Cup will be at the LCQ next month, February 16th to 18th. Then the week after that is going to be group stage, and then ultimately the finals of Capcom Cup 10.
It's coming up real soon. Again, that registration is going to be closing for next week's CPT. It's going to be happening this Monday, the 15th, closing at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Please do yourselves a favor. If you're watching and you're from that area, hey, go to Star GG, go to Capcom Pro Tour. Be sure to do it now as we are speaking, because in just a little bit, we have the Chipotle Unwrapped segment. But before we do that, talk about a big partner that has been coming up these last couple of CPTs. I'm talking about Mask Away with their big collectibles. And I will say big because this detail on these action figures have been so damn intricate and so interesting to see, actually. I love the different types of outfits, the different colorways, even Shinakuma hiding over on the left. I see you. Most people will say that's a colorway so-and-so from 5. No, that's Shinakuma, buddy. But just in case you guys haven't noticed, Storm Collectibles, they brought back a lot of the classics and iconic gaming characters back to life with their very, very high quality collectible action figures. Be sure to check out Street Fighter figures on their website using that QR code on the top right, or by going to stormco.com.hk. And look at the grin on this guy's face. Luke, he's just happy to be here. Ryu, he's seen it all before. Blanca and Fei Long, however, it's their older selves. But fact of the matter is, these things are so sick to look at. Again, stormco.com.hk. Ladies and gentlemen, when we come back, we have our Chipotle Unwrapped segment where we get to the nitty-gritty of what happened in our top 16 to get you prepared for our top 8. Don't miss it, especially with what just happened. We're going to talk about that in detail after this.
You're really making all of this by hand.
Oh yeah. The avocados are hand mashed, the chips are hand tossed, and everything is made fresh.
You make it fresh every day.
Yes, every day. The Chipotle way is we make it fresh every day.
Sounds delicious.
Time to work, time to work. When inhaled, coriamyrtin blocks the gamma-aminobutyric acid receptors in the central nervous system, causing spasmodic muscle contractions.
Master, it's a work of art! It's perfect!
What to do with you now? So, shall we put him out of his misery? Time for some experimentation. I bet poison would work wonders on you. I wouldn't move if I were you. Poison's on the menu. I'm finished with you. I have you. It's over. My arm's dead. Let's do now. Here, there, then here, and... My magnum opus! Is my poison kicking in?
Street Fighter 6.
Objection!
Aha! I knew you'd stick around for Chipotle Unwrapped, our recap of the top 16.
I'm going to do it.
Do
man.
it.
Oh, okay.
Thanks a lot for sticking around with us, everybody. That was quite a top 16 for the U.S., Canada, East. We now know who will make it into the top 8 tomorrow, and we know who has not. And even before the top 16 began, it was already an interesting set of results, of course, as we saw some of the players who were in losers were not players who we would have thought would be in losers. Players who, in fact, reasonable to think would be in grand finals tomorrow, right? Instead, it's not like that. So let's go back and check out some of those results. We'll talk through some of the matchups, what we thought was interesting, what we liked. Of course, when it comes to things starting out, if you look at this and who was in top 16 winner side, it wasn't Punk and it wasn't Idom. We'll talk about it in a little bit. But it was Du. It was NuckleDu, who has had, man, just consistent, very strong success when it comes to all of our huge majors weekly events out in the FGC, where oftentimes 100 to 500 competitors.
Sure.
Not uncommon. And yet Du is very consistently among the best at them. Well, this weekend, same thing. 2-1, though, over Ramos, who did have some strong stuff. Bananakin is going to be on the other side in top 8. His JP, for me, is always a blast to watch. I really enjoy some of his decision-making with the character. His use of amnesia is a little bit different than many other players. His defensive awareness with it, I think, is awesome. And he, in fact, did see that in that match.
Oh, especially towards the end of it, that big highlight reel of using OD amnesia to mark a big old stamp against Spaceboy. Somebody had mentioned it earlier. There was a big life lead that Spaceboy had against Bananakin, and he still decided to pursue offense on it. I think what you do under pressure as a JP player really is what separates you from being just a JP player to a great JP player.
And Bananakin certainly is that. Then we saw Naji take it over Psycho, who had sent Punk down to losers. We saw Paladin over Alex Smith. 16-year-old Ryu player, Paladin.
He's so good.
Yeah, really. Like, again, I kind of think that Ryu's a bit underrated. I'm not going to tell you I think he's one of the best in the game, but I do think that he's a little underrated personally. He's just got interesting, different options than many other characters do. Some different timings, some different spaces where he can control than some other characters. Paladin made that look great.
It's so refreshing to see. It's not even just seeing a brand new character, not seeing a character that's like underused in the realm of both ranked and seen in a tournament setting. But the way he navigated that character was so refreshing to see. There were certain hits, certain sequences, and like offensive sequences that I couldn't even guess what's coming up next.
Right.
And I think that's really important for any player to really put under their belt. And it's so hard to even try to find that style for yourself, because majority of the time, it's like a get-rich-quick scheme when it comes to like a brand new game. It's like, let me X-copy somebody and like whatever yields the fastest results. And then you kind of get like stuck in your box of like ideas.
Right.
But this guy, I got to say, both like, I think Paladin and Ramos do a really, really great job of like thinking outside the box.
I think you definitely saw that. And then in loser's side, when we get down there, FluxWaveZ over Adrian NY at the beginning of things. We saw Kami and Smage, which was a very close back-and-forth match.
That defense was phenomenal.
One of the closest that we had of the day for sure. Then we saw Punk, and even though it says 2-0 right there, if you didn't get a chance to see that, I do recommend checking it out. MaxSama played a really great Marissa in that. Punk obviously ended up winning, but we both really liked a lot of what we saw out of MaxSama as well.
Dude, if I were like blindfolded to like the names before the games had even come up, I would have assumed that was Big Bird. I genuinely thought he was playing like at a world-class level. There was not a lot of mistakes he made, if seldom any. I think there was a lot of sequences that were very educated in not only just the matchup, but also against the player.
Yeah, I'm with you. Totally with you. Then we saw Idom move on over Mondo. Then we saw in that qualifying round, FluxWaveZ pretty strongly over Alex Smith, which was a run back, so shout outs to FluxWaveZ for getting that. Alex Smith had sent him down to losers. Then we saw Kami versus Psycho, where again, man, Kami's defense throughout this top 16 was stellar. And in that, had some great decisions again. We saw Punk over Spaceboy, but not without some serious trials and tribulations. That was, again, very close. Really could have gone either way. Absolutely could have been Spaceboy over Punk in this top 8. And then at the end, Ramos over Idom.
Man, I'm gonna leave my chip in this dip.
Quite a match right there. I mean,
what happened?
Right.
What actually happened? Right. I really have to go to Idom's stream later and check the VODs out, because That is not a normal circumstance for him to drop something so significant.
Like set-winning combo.
He didn't have
top
meter.
8 making combo.
We were immediately after the broadcast or like into the break, David and I were thinking to ourselves, like, there's no other way to like do extra damage off of that ender other than having meter, which he didn't. You saw the command grab come out from Idom.
The like hit grab.
He didn't even have super under him either, right? So that was, I don't know. I'm totally
like, it all came down to that moment, of course, the moment where Idom seemed like he could have gotten the kill, or at least not put himself into a punishable situation. But even before that, very interesting match, very back and forth.
And it was a phenomenal read from Idom to assume the bust that was coming.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Like,
that's
Ramos hasn't really done anything that risky.
We hadn't seen EX
in the
wake up.
entirety of his matchups, right?
Yeah.
Both against NuckleDu as well as in Idom. Seeing that last bit of moment, you think to yourself, it's like, man, I think like nine times out of 10, each and every one of you would have been like, I think that was a fair bust out. I think that was a fair OD. In the
even
context
though it didn't
of
work,
what
I think it made sense.
It
I thought
did.
it was understandable.
Totally.
Anyway.
And it still paid off for him. That's, man.
Right, kind of did.
I don't
Yeah,
know this
yeah,
shit.
kind of did. All right, well, that's their top 8. Or who made it in the top 8. Let's talk about that top 8. Boop. There it is. On the winner's side, NuckleDu versus Bananakin. That could be grand finals anywhere. Naji versus Paladin. That's going to be a blast to watch as we continue to see teenage Ryu players have success. Of course, we saw Ending Walker qualify for Capcom Cup from the World Warrior in the UK, largely with Ryu, not exclusively. Man has a DJ, but largely with Ryu. And then in loser's side, Ramos versus Punk and Kami versus FluxWaveZ. So matches that you could see in, again, any deep part of a top 8 are happening in round 1 of top 8 in this event.
So many different routes to choose from, like what can transpire from who falls down below from the winner's side, like Bananakin versus the winner of Kami and FluxWaveZ, or even NuckleDu. Then Naji, the same kind of story. Ramos and Punk, they've all played. I mean, like, I know there's a lot of history between all of these players. I think out of this roster of top 8, 2 players really stick out to me, and that's clearly Paladin and Ramos as being like the names that I haven't really been able to see as often. Right? If you were to watch like NLBC, if you were to watch like TNS, you watch Can Opener, you watch ICFC, you'll see all of these names pretty often, with the exception of those 2.
It's true, but very, very cool to see as a result. So that will be tomorrow. It's going to be all 3 out of 5 matches, as we always do here in the CPT top 8s. You know, it's not necessarily the top 8 that I think a lot of us thought we were going to see coming into this thing.
I can't believe it happened the way it did.
Right?
Truly.
You know, I feel for the players who didn't make it, but I'm also really excited and happy for the players who did make it, because it's a really cool opportunity for them. And we'll see what happens tomorrow.
I mean, that's about as good as it's going to get, to be honest with you. I'm not going to add on too much, except for we appreciate your guys' time this weekend. I know there's so much going on in the realm of fighting games. I know we have other commentators throwing it down for other games, but I'm glad you guys decided to stick it out with us for this special moment in time. The Capcom Pro Tour has concluded their top 16, but we got top 8 coming up tomorrow, same time, same channel. You already know what it is. And again, please, if you are part of the Midwest, just please sign up, because this is the last one. This is the big hurrah before the last chance qualifier. In the meantime, David and myself are probably going to go to Chipotle after this. We'll see you guys all for tomorrow's top 8. Take care.